Alrighty, hello everyone, my name's Caden, and welcome back to more Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, or Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Spirit of Justice. I swear to God, these games titles are so long. It's been a while since I last played, but last time, Trucy is now accused of murder, and we're about to go up against our next, new prosecutor, And, yeah, we've also got all of our stuff, robbed from us because of money. Because of Trucy being tricked. Anyways, let's get into it. The magical turnabout. So I assume this trial is only 1 day long because, well, reasons. April 28th, 9:15 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby number 3. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine.
Is Apollo okay? He's been muttering to himself all morning.
I'm gonna have to remember all the voices. It's been a long time since I've actually done any streaming, it feels like.
He's been like that since yesterday. Guess the pressure of today's trial is getting to him. Poor Polly. He's really tearing himself up over all this. Get together, Apollo.
Yeah, Athena, when did you get here?
Try to relax a little bit, will you? You're getting yourself way too worked up.
Yeah, but I'm alright. I'm fine.
You know, I did a little digging on this Nayuta Sadamati guy. He's apparently not your run-of-the-mill prosecutor.
Oh yeah? What did you find out?
Well, they say he wields an incredible power to accurately read a trial's karma and its ultimate fate.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't have all the details, but apparently he can foresee how the arguments will go and even lead his opposition. The defense basically ends up going in whatever direction he has in his head.
Man, this isn't going to be a cakewalk if that's true.
Emma did say she talked him for us, so here's hoping that went well.
In any case, sounds like he's going to keep us on our toes. That's why I know you're ready. Why I know I can leave Trucy in the office to you. I believe in you, Apollo. Mr. Wright is putting his faith in me. I can't let him down now. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine.
There he goes again. It's almost like he's chanting a prayer.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm Apollo Justice, and I'm fine.
If you say so, Apollo.
Trial will start momentarily. Is the defense ready? Yes. We're fine! I asked if you're ready, not fine. Trucy's fate and the fate of the agency rests on this trial. This is it, Justice. If there was ever a time to shine, it's now. Oh boy, here we go. April 28th, 9:30 a.m. District Court... Courtroom number 6. Hi, I'm here again. Court is now in session. All rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Trucy Wright. The defense is ready, Your Honor. You're Nayuta. Hi. And the prosecution is asleep. Prosecutor Sadamati. 1,000 pardons. It was rude of me to keep you waiting. I was praying for the victim. Oh, praying. Yes, I see. You're a Kuranese monk, correct, prosecutor? Yes, that is correct. I am but a lowly monk from the kingdom of Kurain. I beg in advance for the forgiveness and kind patience of everyone here in this court. I am unfamiliar with the proceedings of this country, and may make many blunders.
He seems like such a gentle-mannered soul, doesn't he?
Wonder if Emma had a chance to talk with him about Trucy. Now then, Prosecutor Sadamati, your opening statement, if you would. Certainly. In the name of the Holy Mother,
I vow to guide the victim's soul to the land of eternal peace, known as the Twilight Realm. Now, let the last rites of the victim begin. Nayuta Sadamari. He's really been making a name for himself, apparently, but that nickname, Last Rites Prosecutor. I wonder how that will come into play today. I have a long scroll, holy crap. The incident took place in the middle of a spectacular magic show. The accused performed a magic trick in which he thrust a sword into a coffin. A coffin from which the body of the victim then spilled out, dead from the fatal stabbing. The victim's name was Man of Mystery, otherwise known as the Great Mr. Reus. His blood was found on the sword that was used during the magic trick.
Autopsy report added. The victim's real name was Man of Mystery. His blood is on the murder weapon. That's interesting. So his death was just an unfortunate accident. Let me take a look at that death report real quick. Time of death, April 27th, approximately 10:30 a.m. Cause of death, shock as a result of being stabbed through the back with a sharp blade. The victim's real name was Man of Mystery. This is a weird case for...
It is only natural for one to assume as such, Your Honor. However, it was no mere accident, but rather a homicide. The prosecution's position is thus, that this was a murder made to look like an accident.
I see. And you believe this crime was committed by the defendant?
After a thorough consideration of all possible scenarios, I, unfortunately, had no other choice but to conclude as much.
So that's how it's gonna be, huh?
I guess Emma couldn't convince him after all.
Very well. And now, let us hear from the defense. Naturally, we maintain that the defendant is innocent, Your Honor.
If the defense wouldn't mind, could you please explain your reasoning?
My reasoning? Well, I would have to say that my main reason is because I believe in the defendant.
I see. So you find it difficult to come up with anything more concrete than that, do you? What a fine demonstration of the fact that you are indeed a lawyer of putrid mind.
Bruh. Putrid mind? Prosecutor Sadamati. Excuse me, but I don't... What? Did you just swear me in a different language? I don't speak hieroglyphics, sorry. If you don't mind me asking, Prosecutor, what was that you were just chanting?
A sutra of the Holy Mother that guides those of tainted soul toward enlightenment. It is a Kuroini's incantation to awaken the foolish from their fruitless slumber. Fitting for a lawyer who indulges in such fancy as the innocence of the accused.
I see. So basically you're asking the defense to get real?
Allow me these few words, defense. It is my duty as a monk to punish sinners and to guide victims' souls to the Twilight Realm. Should you show repentance and admit to the accused's guilt now, no harm will come to you. But should you interfere with my sacred last rites for the victim, then I shall cast you down to the pit of hell along with Trucy Wright.
Now wait just 1 minute here. Putrid? Pit of hell? Is that any way to address someone in a court of law? Prosecutor Sadamati, that may be the way you conduct trials in Kurain, but I would appreciate if you would have refrained from such charged language here.
Your Honor, that was but a Kuraini sermon for those who have strayed from the path. Harsh words are often necessary to admonish contemptible deviants who cannot see reason.
Oh, I see. I didn't realize. I don't understand this man.
I guess they really do hate defense attorneys in Kurain, huh? Even still, that was way over the top as far as verbal abuse goes.
And the trial's only just begun. I can't wait. Well, defense, I suppose the way that a prosecutor does things varies by country. Also, the way that you get, punished varies by prosecutor. What have we had? We've had Edgeworth. He's honestly probably the most normal we've had. We've had, I don't want to remember, Francisca. Gatto threw coffee at Mr. Wright. The only annoyance that Gavin caused was his music to my ears. Who else? And then Blackwell. Why don't we look at this as a cross-cultural exchange and try to be open-minded about it?
What?
Bailiff, please bring in the first witness. Delicious snackoos. I am not moving the dialogue. Uh-oh, I thought she said goodbye to the snackoos. He is speed eating. Emma? Can I have one? Detective Sky, the courtroom is no place for gorging yourself, unless you give me some.
What's wrong with having a little snack? Girls gotta eat, right? She, seems a little stressed out.
Detective Sky, your testimony, please.
Yeah, about that. I just want to state for the record that I believe Trucy Wright is innocent.
I'm sorry?
Detective Sky, this path you seek to follow is misguided. Giving the wrongdoer false hope will only deepen her despair in the end. Let it go, and move on. Acts which go against your duty will earn you divine punishment from the Holy Mother.
Num 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 num.
Oh. Fine. I don't know about divine part, but I get the punishment bit loud and clear. Guess I gotta sign tons of paperwork or something for sticking up for Trucy.
She and Prosecutors and I don't seem to go along very well, do they?
Shall we continue? The prosecution contends that the accused had a clear motive. The evidence, if you would, Detective Sky.
Alright. Please take a look at this poster. It's a Troop Grammary poster from 13 years ago.
Is it just me, or is it a little different from the one in Miss Wright's dressing room?
This is a revised version of that poster.
This one says cancelled under Mr. Reyes.
That's right. Mr. Reyes left the troop after the first version of the poster was printed. Take a look at Mr. Reyes' right forearm, near his elbow. See the big scar there? He apparently got that when he made a mistake while practicing a magic trick.
Ouch, that's quite a scar.
Because of the accident, Magnifi Grammary concluded Mr. Reyes was too unskilled. Just before the show was to open, Magnifi announced Mr. Reyes wouldn't be appearing. In defiance of Magnifi's decision, Mr. Reyes tried to go on stage anyway. This in turn caused Magnifi to oust Mr. Reyes from the troupe on the spot.
He kicked Mr. Reyes out? That seems rather extreme. Did he really have to go that far?
When it came to magic, Troop Grammary was so passionate, or should I say, extreme, about it that it caused problems for them and from time to time.
Yes, it even caused this court a mountain of trouble with their extreme antics.
And now, the troop's successor has committed a murder. It seems the troop's rare talent was inherited by the right person after all. A putrid talent for criminality.
You sound rather extreme yourself, Prosecutor.
Criminals with impure souls do not deserve sympathy, Your Honor.
As I was saying, after his expulsion, Mr. Reyes apparently went on to hold a grudge against the troop.
He would tell those close to him, I will get my revenge on Troop Grammary someday.
Revenge, That certainly sounds rather antagonistic. Okay, was apparently ousted from Troop Grammary 13 years ago due to an injury he sustained. The problem is the fact that that Man of Mystery does not have that scar, right? It doesn't matter what angle I seem to look at him here, or his arm's missing that scar. It shows on the poster that it should be on his right arm, and probably more if you have your palm facing towards you, it's going to be easier to see. But look at this. But if you look at the crime photo, his right hand's facing up, so his palm is facing the sky on his right arm. So, it should be easy to see it. But I don't know about you, but I don't see anything here.
And then his chance for revenge finally came. If you'd be so kind, Detective Sky. I guess I don't have a choice, do I?
Don't worry. The defendant's motive.
The victim planned to get his revenge on Troop Grammary during Trucy's magic show. Mr. Reyes was going to first steal the Grammary notebook from the defendant. He then intended to reveal the secrets behind their magic tricks during the show. That was the victim's plan for revenge. While he did, in fact, steal the notebook, the defendant murdered him before he had a chance to reveal the secrets.
So the notebook.
By the time the accused had discovered the notebook's theft, it was too late. Her only option was to kill Mr. Reyes and make it look like an accident.
Objection!
Boy! That's nothing but conjecture.
Objection!
The victim's assistant, Bonnie DeFam, gave the police a statement. She testified that just before the start of the show, Mr. Reyes said, "I'm going to reveal all of Troop Grammy's secrets on stage today."
What?
Well, that isn't exactly a great starting point for a rebuttal, is it?
You're telling me.
Allow me to give you one piece of advice, Defense.
Oh? And what's that?
I have a butterfly. Let it go, and move on.
Excuse me?
Helping a sinner will only sully your own soul. One possessed of an unclean soul will burn in the flames of hell, and then be ever burdened with that sin in their next life.
But I don't believe in that sort of thing. Besides, I have no intention of giving up.
Oh, Holy Mother, grant me the strength to deal with this putrid lawyer. All actions have consequences, and yours will surely earn you the honor of being a mere stink bug at best in your next life.
Stink bug! Well then, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination, please. Ignore what I said. I'm not in the mood for being screamed at. Alright. So, let's just start by pressing everything. The victim planned to get his revenge on Troop Grammary during Trucy's magic show.
Hold it!
Yep. Revenge after all this time. It's been 13 years already. That's honestly incredibly petty, gonna be real. Why now?
I know, right? I thought that was pretty sketchy myself. I mean, wouldn't he have done it a long time ago if he was gonna do it? Detective Sky, self-indulgent outbursts such as those will earn you a divine punishment. In the form of a salary evaluation.
Wait, that's what divine punishment means?
Let the detective here have a snack. This humble servant of the Holy Mother shall explain. Over a decade ago, Troop Grammary was at the height of their popularity. Then their reputation declined, and they had all but faded from public memory. Until recently, that is, when Trucy Wright sought to recapture their former glory.
The defendants, and at such a young age, too. How impressive.
Yes, the accused's skill at magic is undeniably impressive. If she hadn't fallen into the path of sin, she would have had a bright future ahead of her.
It's always sad to see such promising young talent go to waste. Now then, Detective Sky, how did Mr. Reyes plan to get his revenge? And please put down the snack before you continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Reyes was going to first steal the Grammary notebook from the defendant, okay? What evidence do you have that Mr. Reyes actually stole the notebook? Apollo...
Well, you see,
whenever you're ready, Detective.
Fret not, Detective Sky. You have nothing to repent for. You should be proud of the fine forensic discovery that you made.
Forensic discovery? And what did she discover, specifically?
Detective Sky identified a certain set of fingerprints on the notebook. Upon further inspection, she determined that they belonged to Mr. Reyes.
What?
The detective found the fingerprints entirely of her own volition. For that, I must say well done, Detective Sky.
get a little too addicted to using your precious little white powder, did you, Emma?
Now, Detective Sky, I would ask you to explain exactly how Mr. Reyes intended to use the notebook to exact his revenge.
Alright, well, first he stole the notebook. He then intended to reveal the secrets behind their magic tricks during the show.
Hold it!
Okay. I'm going to reveal all the true Grammar secrets on stage today. That's what Mr. Reyes told himself, right?
Right, but he didn't exactly specify which Grammar secrets he was talking about.
But the prosecution thinks he was referring to the secrets behind Troop Grammy's magic.
Yes, that is the prosecution's assertion. When the accused realized that Mr. Reyes was to reveal her family's most closely guarded secrets, she naturally panicked.
So basically, Drussy's notebook was hiding in Mr. Reyes' things because he had stolen it himself. I see. Truly a motive that only a magician could have.
Yes, that's what the prosecution believes anyway.
That was the victim's plan for revenge, and while he did in fact steal the notebook...
Hold it!
Do you really believe what you're saying, Detective Sky? Do you really think Miss Wright killed Mr. Reyes to stop him from getting his revenge?
Of course I don't think that. The Trucy we know would never... Keep your private considerations separate from your public duty. I warned you about this very thing before the trial began, did I not, Detective Sky? Yes, you did. Please recite my exact words to you. Emma Sky, you are a detective first and foremost, and not the accused friend. Remember your duty and fulfill it faithfully. Excellent. So you do remember what I said to you. Your devotion to your work will be rewarded, for the Holy Mother sees all. Holy Mother is no scientific concept I've ever heard of.
Those two really don't get along, do they? Well, science and religion go together about as well as oil and water.
As I was saying.
Yeah, kind of funny dynamic. The defendant murdered him before he had a chance to reveal the secrets.
Hold it!
I'm sorry, but what exactly is the basis for claiming it was murder?
Beats me.
What? The basis is beats me? Basis is I don't know.
You'll have to ask Prosecutor Sanmati over there because he hasn't told me his reasoning either.
Wait, what? Prosecutor.
Detective Sky, your feeding of information to the defense has not gone unnoticed by my eyes. Oh. The bad karma of acts which go against your duty will impinge upon you in your next life. But even before that, it may impinge upon your job in the form of a transfer. Please don't get me kicked out of the forensics unit. Anything but that.
Poor Emma. She's really been risking everything for us. Well, Prosecutor Sadamati, what are your grounds for claiming homicide?
It was the luminous tape in the understage passage.
Tape?
I realized that it had been moved. Moved so that Mr. Reyes would climb up into the downstage coffin by mistake.
What?
Mr. Reyes, who was waiting in the understage passage, was supposed to have used the upstage ladder, shown here on the left.
Okay. Which would have put him in the fake coffin.
He was to climb up into the coffin that had been set up in the backstage area. After being turned into a stuffed dragon during Act 1, Mr. Reyes was supposed to come back to life and emerge from that coffin. But that luminous tape had been moved to mark the downstage ladder. So the victim climbed up into the coffin on the stage itself by mistake. The very same coffin the accused thrust her sword into.
I see. And you have proof that it was my client who moved the tape?
But of course. Detective Sky? Huh? Oh, that's right. I identified the defense fingerprints on the luminous tape.
What? You actually had proof!
Well, defense, are you finally ready to let it all go and move on?
Absolutely not!
Detective, please add the information about the prints on tape to your testimony. The defendant's prints were on the tape. I guess she must have moved it during the show. Something about that doesn't seem right to me. She must have moved it during the show. Wait a minute. Whoopsie daisy.
Tape was moved to guide Miss Reyes into the coffin that was downstage? If that's true, it does sound like a murder rather than an accident.
Really doesn't help that Truce's prints are on the tape.
Ugh.
I wish I knew what sound would even be appropriate to make in this situation.
Objection!
Nope. Well, I presented the ad evidence with plenty of confidence. Thank God I've got a time machine.
Hold it!
What made you think to check the luminous tape for prints?
Well, I bet it was Texas intuition. I dusted not just the tape, but just about everywhere for fingerprints.
Oh?
I dusted pretty much every single surface in the theater. I mean, it was so nice to be able to dust for prints without anybody getting mad at me.
It's great that you're enthusiastic, Emma, but there is such a thing as too enthusiastic. Okay. There's something wrong with that last statement about she being able to move it. Something about it doesn't quite add up to me. I just gotta the defense prints were on tape. I guess she must have moved during the show, but she was on the on stage.
Objection!
No, it's not that. Witness statement is wrong. I don't need to explain myself.
That's literally your job.
Too bad.
Objection!
We're not off to a good start if I'm failing this hard on the very first thing of the second case. We are not off to a good start.
Objection!
Oh, hey. I'm sorry to say, Sky, but there's a flaw in your testimony.
Oh, really?
The prosecution is claiming that Miss Wright moved the understage tape during the show in order to guide the victim into the coffin downstage. But it doesn't make sense that she would leave prints on the tape at the time. It doesn't? Please consider the fingerprinting results of the main coffin, which shows that not one of my client's fingerprints was found on or in it.
That's true. We didn't find any of her prints on that coffin.
I think you've realized what the flaw in your testimony is. Claiming Miss Wright left prints on the tape during the show is inconsistent with the facts. I mean, because she was wearing gloves during the show. Oh yeah! Why would she take off her gloves just to move tape? Oh, she must have left the prints sometime before the show started. In other words, her prints do not prove she moved the tape to mislead the victim. The prosecution's investigation was insufficient.
Oh my. But on a personal level, I'm very happy about that.
Well, Prosecutor Saramati, the defense's argument is true. Then you have no evidence the defendant moved the tape to deceive the victim.
I see. Apparently, the defense is more intelligent than I had thought. More than a stink bug, at any rate.
Come on, you can bump me up at least a stag meal now, can you?
Would that really be any better?
At least one's cooler. Of course, way better. Stag meals are cool. Those huge mandibles of theirs.
Talk to them!
If the defense wishes to be promoted to a stag beetle, then answer me this question.
Alright, shoot.
Even with no evidence that the accused moved the tape to misguide the victim still climbed the ladder, using the tape as a guide. And entered the coffin on the stage. The accused then thrust her sword into said coffin with the victim in it.
So what you're saying is, the fact remains that the victim was stabbed to death, right?
Precisely. However, this does drastically change one aspect of this case. If the accused did not lead the victim into the coffin on purpose, then it means the victim's death could have been accidental. If it was indeed an accident, the defense can argue that it was an involuntary manslaughter.
I see. If there's involuntary manslaughter, they could plead extenuating circumstances, and the severity of the crime could be mitigated.
Defense, if you believe the accused did not murder the victim, then do you argue that it was an accident?
This is it. An all-important question. The defense argues that Mr. Race's death was... It wasn't a death. It wasn't an accident. This was intentional. There's no way this was an accident. This was murder. Plain and simple. The defense maintains that the defendant is entirely innocent. We believe that it wasn't an accident, but murder. And, what's more, we believe it was committed by a third party.
A third party? And then the true culprit is someone else? That's quite a brazen claim to make, and one wholly without grounds. Your voice is as loud as your suit, and your mind echoes just as loudly in emptiness. Surely, you were but a loud red pepper in your previous life.
I've been demoted to a vegetable?
Wow, I didn't know a person could be reincarnated as a non-sentient plant.
I don't know how that works either, but anyway, in any case, I do have grounds to make this claim.
Let us hear this reasoning of yours then.
Alright, but before I give it, there is one question that we need to address. If the victim was killed by some third party, then the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin wasn't the cause of death. If that's the case, then how did we wind up with a dead body inside the coffin? Very good question. Now let's hear your opinion, Mr. Justice. How did the victim's body wind up inside the coffin? It was magic, no.
Is there any chance that he was killed under stage? What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? In other words, what if the victim was already dead in the coffin from the get-go?
Oh, I see. In that case, the defendant's soul wouldn't have been the cause of death. How do you respond, Prosecutor Satamati?
That is the third time.
The third time of what? Huh. What the? Huh? Why? Beans? What do you mean? What the heck is this?
I'm casting a spell on you.
What do you think you're doing?
Even the merciful Holy Mother loses patience if she is struck 3 times. Since you never learn, you needed to be punished.
Why would you let me worry about what I need and what don't need?
It is what you deserve for interfering with my sacred last rites for the victim. You are a brainless lawyer chasing phantoms. You know nothing. Let this humble servant of the Holy Mother give you an edifying sermon.
A sermon? Now?
There is a passage in the sacred scriptures of Kurainism. A cornered frog will swallow even a snake.
Huh? A cornered lawyer has unexpectedly struck back hard against the prosecution? Did I get it right?
No, for I am not done with my sermon. And yet, the frog still dies, its belly bitten and torn from within.
Just great.
And in this case, you are that frog, Defense.
What exactly is your point anyway?
Let us assume for a moment that the victim was killed under the stage. Who then had the opportunity to do so during the show?
Let's see, the people in the show were...
Bonnie DeFam, the victim Mr. Reyes, and Trucy Wright. Bonnie DeFam was on stage throughout the entire show, as easily confirmed by the footage from the show. Which leaves us with only one suspect, Trucy Wright. Now do you see? The accused killed Mr. Reyes as he waited on standby in his understage passage, then placed his dead body in the coffin above, thus making the murder look like an accident.
Oh!
Oh, great and merciful Holy Mother. Thus, another putrid mind has been guided toward enlightenment.
I can't believe I swallowed this trick question whole!
Objection!
Athena?
Sorry, but I have to raise an objection here.
Athena? What are you...
There's something I want to point out, Apollo.
And who might you be? You strike me as a mere child in countenance.
I may be young, but I have an attorney's badge just the same.
And you would contribute to this discussion in that capacity?
I most certainly would.
Oh? Legit.
You just argued that the defendant killed the victim under the stage. But let me remind you that Miss Wright is a girl.
Clearly, surely you didn't raise an objection simply to point out such an obvious fact. Your Honor, please send for this little child's guardian to come take her home.
Hold it!
But I'm not done with my sermon.
You don't need to talk like Prosecutor Sunmoney, you know.
Listen, if the victim was killed in the upstage passage, then his body would then have to be hauled up to the stage, right? However, Miss Wright is a young girl, and a pretty petite one at that. She couldn't possibly have hefted that large body up and put it in that coffin.
That's true. It does seem like it would be a rather difficult task for the defendant. I don't think even I could do it.
What do you think of that, prosecutor? Who's the child now?
In my religion, the priestesses of Kurianism are revered as the pillars of our beliefs. So I naturally hold nothing but deep respect for women. I also think highly of the female perspective.
Says the man who called this fair maiden a little child.
Who's a fair maiden?
I agree that your point is worth discussing, Defense. How indeed was the dead body raised up into the coffin? By the accused, Trucy Wright, that is.
You're committed to pointing the finger at her no matter what, huh? Can you explain how that'd even be possible?
But of course. Come to me, my little friend. There was a way for even a small creature like her to raise the victim's body up.
Huh? Wait, you really can't explain it?
I foresaw that our arguments would come to this, so I have prepared a witness.
Well, well, I admire your readiness, prosecutor.
It is really not that difficult when one can read the ultimate outcome of any trial.
He couldn't have really predicted that things would turn out like this, could he?
It's pretty hard to believe.
Excuse me, but may I step down now?
Yes, I suppose you may.
One moment, Detective Sky.
I'm sorry for, the way I handle all this.
You did a fine job, Detective. Your testimony was invaluable.
It was?
Yes, you served well as a detective, and did not allow your personal feelings to interfere. You overcame the conflicted emotions you felt and performed your duty admirably. You will be rewarded for your fine work.
Oh, thank you.
I hope we can work together again in the future.
Emma seems bewildered by the unexpected praise.
I guess he's a pretty nice person, like they say, as long as you're not up against him.
Now then, let's call the next witness. He's not bad, but he's just very committed. Up, it's Bonnie.
Hello.
Bon.
Witness, please state your name and occupation.
I cannot for the life of me remember what voice I actually gave you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the court. It's very nice to meet all of you. I'm a lagomorphing illusionist from the land of fairy tales, Bonnie the Femme. I can't wait to do some magic tricks for all of you.
Please, Witness. There's a time and place for all things, including magic.
Aw, but it would be okay if I just do a little magic, right? Come on, please. Look, everybody's waiting. It's my chance to shine.
Chop to them.
That is your second time.
My second time doing what?
There will be no further warnings. You should know that from our preparatory meeting, correct?
Mm,
Is no one exempt from His Holiness's rosary of suffering? May we have your testimony, witness, once you've recovered from your disappointment?
well, as a huge fan of Trucy's, I don't really want to testify against her. But I guess I have to, don't I?
As a huge fan of Trucy's, huh?
I hate her. I loathe her. I can't stand that rat. Can't stand that Trucy Wright. Just because she's a little good at magic, she thinks she's all that. So this is exactly what that sniveling brat deserves.
So why is the split? Sure, you're a fan, alright, of destroying Trucy, you mean. Either there's some kind of split personality disorder going on, or you're just faking it all. Alright, Bonnie. The understage passage.
I really can't believe that Trucy killed Mr. Reyes. I guess it's possible for a small girl to lift a dead body up, but she used a stage lift. Is it possible? If Trucy did use a stage lift, I think she must have used stage lift number 2. I was on stage for the entire show, by the way.
You were on stage the whole time. And you're sure about that?
There's no question. The entire audience could testify to that fact. What's more, she is shown clearly in the TV show footage as well.
I couldn't possibly kill Miss Arias, not little me.
Therefore, the only person who could have killed the victim on the stage is the accused. Furthermore, by using a stage lift, even a petite young lady could have raised the body up to the stage without difficulty.
You've gotta be kidding me. Very well. The defense may now cross-summon the witness. The understage passage. I really can't believe that Trucy killed Mr. Reyes. Pause. You said you were a huge fan of Trucy's, isn't that right?
Oh yes, I even became a magician because I wanted to be just like her. The first time I saw her, she was performing at the Wonder Bar. She was only in junior high back then, but she got up on stage with tons of confidence. And then, she proceeded to win my heart with her astonishing tricks and winning smile.
It certainly sounds like she means all that. So, finally being able to perform with her must have been quite a treat for you, right?
Oh yes, after all, it's my chance to have her see me. Not just as a fan, but as a fellow magician.
Wee! Rabbit!
But then that horrible accident happened.
It was not an accident. It was murder. Witness, please explain if you would. How a small young woman such as Trucy Wright could have raised the body.
The murder has to... I think I'm starting to... I'm based on what I can remember, it's gotta be the camera guy, but I can't remember why. Guess it's possible for a small girl to lift a dead body up. She used a stage lift.
Hold it!
What makes you think it would be possible? It's not like you tried it out yourself, right?
Well,
Actually, we did try it out for ourselves.
You did?
Yes. Sector Sky, if you would.
Oh, I'm still here. Hi.
So that's why you made me do that.
Captain Sky, what did you have to do? What did he have you do?
The prosecutor asked me to try raising one of the male police officers with that stage lift, without a single word of explanation as to why he was making me do it.
You're kidding.
It's as if he really can foresee all of our counter-arguments.
Do not underestimate this humble servant of the Holy Mother.
Or like haughty.
I guess that means Trucy could have lifted that body up. Does that mean...
Is it possible? Could Trucy really have? I feel... this is gonna be irrelevant, I feel, but... Is what possible? Could Trucy really have what, Mr. Femme? Please finish your sentence.
Well,
Answer! Don't try to beat around the bush. Come right out and say it. Why not tell this court what you really believe?
I really believe? Of course I don't believe Trucy could ever commit murder. Such an amazing and wonderful magician would never do such a thing. But, taking all the facts into account, what else can I think?
I know of at least 3 other unflattering things you really think about, Trucy.
How can you attack this girl when she is obviously speaking with reserve?
There is such a thing as reading between the lines, Mr. Justice. It's sad how the youth of today lack the ability to do such a basic thing. Bruh. As if you're any better judge. Looking at me like that isn't gonna help me stick my foot in my mouth less, Your Honor.
Witness, please describe what the accused might have used to lift the dead body.
Alright.
Hang on, I just remembered something. Didn't they mention something weird? The stage lift 2 had to be moved out of the way since... The stage lift Trucy had to move out of the way during the show since it was already all the way up. Wait a minute. Whoopsie daisy. Also, I feel like that's weird to say. Hang on. I know this is kind of jumping the gun a bit, but why are you saying this? I was on stage for the entire show, by the way.
Hold it!
That's weird. Why are you saying that? You didn't have a single spare moment to slip down to the understage passage?
Huh? Don't tell me you suspect me now.
I'm just trying to do my job by fully examining your alibi. Depending on how solid it is, I might have to suspect you, yes.
You gotta be kidding me. Don't spit on my head and tell me it's raining, lawyer boy. I'm right there in the footage. Are you too much of an idiot to see?
Huh? Mr. Pham, are you feeling alright? You seem suddenly different.
Oh, where did that come from, right? Oh my, I seemed to snap there for a second, didn't I?
You didn't just snap, you broke character just now.
In any case, I was on stage all the time, performing magic. I mean, you saw me in the footage, right? A dazzling and flawless performance.
Flawless. That's odd, considering what you told me. You said that you made a mistake with where you positioned Mr. Han. Mr. Pham, what is the defense referring to?
Well, I made a little mistake on stage. I was in charge of operating Mr. Hat, you'd see. According to the script, I was supposed to place him to the left of the coffin. But I flubbed it up and made him stand to the right of the coffin instead.
And because of that mistake, Trucy had to move the stage lifts around.
I feel really bad about messing Trucy up like that with my goof.
I wonder if it's really possible for a small girl to lift a dead body up like Bonnie claims.
Guess it's possible with the stage lift.
Prosecutor Sadmai also said Trucy was the only one who could have done it under stage.
This testimony sure isn't doing our case any favors. I'm just gonna flat out try it out. I don't know if this is right, but I feel like it might. If it's not, then I'm gonna have to actually press the statement. But could this one not be moved?
Objection!
No, never mind. I mixed it up. Well, that went pear-shaped fast. Let's try pressing the statement this time.
Hold it!
Stage lift number 2. You mean the stage... Rat? You mean the stage lift shown here on the left?
That's right, with stage lift. I think even a small girl could easily lift a dead body up to stage.
And so that makes for the murder, in your opinion?
Of course not. I believe in Trucy. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of hers.
Oh, brother, how long is she gonna keep this act up?
Defense, what position was stage lift number 2 in after the show?
Let's see, if I recall, it was in the fully raised position.
And the reason why it was fully raised is because the accused used it to lift the victim's body. Wouldn't you agree?
No.
Feel free to slowly mull it over while you roast over the flames of hell, you evil red pepper.
So now I'm also evil?
Darn it. I don't see any inconsistencies in her testimony.
Now do you know who the real killer is? Come on, Gramps. Don't just sit there. Hit down your ruling. Pronto. Do it quick before you keel over up there.
I beg your pardon.
Oops. What's gotten into me? I'm so sorry.
I give her another 5 minutes before she tears off that mask.
Well, Defense, are you ready to let it all go now?
Of course not. I'll never give up.
I see. I suppose this too is fate. The sacred scriptures of Koreanism describe a variety of hells for the damned. For someone like you who struggles ceaselessly against his fate, Bolojig seems most appropriate.
What? Oh, wait, that's Koreanese. What sort of terrible place is Papulboji?
A place where the more one struggles, the further one falls into the abyss. At the bottom of the abyss, a ferocious beast awaits. Think of it as something akin to an antlion sandpit trap.
Oh, so there's one of those in my backyard.
Wow. Koreanese hell is closer to home than I thought.
Now then, it would appear that the witness's testimony supports the prosecution's claims. That the defendant is the only one who could have killed the victim under stage.
How are we supposed to get out of this, Jim?
Hey, Paula. If you can't find any contradictions, maybe it's time to use analytical psychology.
Yes! You mean there's noise?
I heard some discord in Bonnie's voice while she was testifying.
Let's see.
See? We're just picking up on the noise in her heart, too.
That's right. Athena can hear things others can't with her super-sensitive hearing. She can hear the emotions people suppress as a kind of noise or discord in their voices.
Alright, Athena. Let's give it a try.
You got it.
Hold it!
Your Honor. I'm afraid that our witness, Miss DeFam, is suffering under a terrible traumatic stress due to this horrible incident.
She is?
Yes. Well, with that terrible death on stage, and her beloved Trucy getting arrested, she's under awful strain and shock. In fact, I don't know how much more she can take before she's unfit to testify. What?
Oh, I've heard of that. What is it called? Postal stress disorder, right? It's where a person becomes uncontrollably angry, I think. I read about it somewhere.
That's going postal, Your Honor. This is PTSD.
Oh, my. So that's why the witness acts so hostile at times. As if she were a different person.
Yes, and I think her condition is clouding her memory of the incident. Therefore, I suggest a short therapy session for the witness.
Huh?
Huh? Therapy? You know the first thing about a magician's mental strength. Risk my life jumping through rings of fire and having my body sawn in half. Oops. Boy, I have to watch my temper, don't I?
I agree. Miss Sykes, please do whatever you can to help this unfortunate young lady.
And what exactly is this child planning to do, Mr. Justice?
With her super-sensitive hearing, Miss Sykes can hear a witness's true emotions.
Simply from tone and inflection, she can tell exactly what a person is feeling.
I can even pick out feelings what that witness is trying to suppress or hide. Widget projects the emotions I hear into the mood matrix, where I can analyze them.
Sounds like some sort of spurious devilry. Though I find it hard to believe, I must ask. How do emotions constitute evidence?
While I won't say that emotions can be taken as evidence per se, I have seen how instrumental Miss Sykes' work has been in cracking a case. Therefore, I wholly support giving it a try.
I see. If you are in favor of it, Your Honor, then I have no objections. Even this mere monk can see that something disturbs the witness.
I'll disturb you! Oh, thank you for understanding, Prosecutor Sabmati. Oh, you remember how to conduct a therapy session, right? You want me to lead the session? Of course. You're the lead on this case, after all.
Fair enough, but do I need a refresher?
Nah, I know.
I think I still remember from the last time. Let's get right into it.
Okie dokie. Ready, Widget? Let's do it.
Let's get into it. Alright, Miss Bonnie DeFemme, what are your true emotions in regard to this whole incident?
Let's find out, shall we?
I guess Trucy is the one who killed Mr. Reyes. Okay. Even she can move the body with that lift. I was on stage at the time, but that terrible mistake... My stupid flub caused Trucy so much trouble. I feel so bad about it. Excuse it! I have to say, Mr. Pham, you certainly are a strange one. Even though you said I feel so bad about it, it seems you were feeling happy about it. I think I can guess why you were feeling happy. It must be because you messed her up, right? I think you were happy because you messed the defendant up. I'm right, aren't I?
You gotta be kidding me. Why would I be happy I missed Trucy up? I'm a big fan of hers.
Because we saw you.
I hate her. Brat! I loathe her. I can't stand that Trucy Wright. Just because she's a little good at magic, she thinks she's all that. This is exactly what that sniveling brat deserves.
We saw how you said you hated Trucy Wright. How were you glad she was in trouble, and even how it was what she deserved?
Ouch.
Looks like I hit the bunny on the head, so to speak.
Ah. Oh, the noise level dropped. Now if we could get it down to 0%.
Well, Mr. Fun, are you ready to confess how you really feel?
What? What do you mean? Bonnie, the sweet, cute little bunny. I'm a rookie magician working hard to be just like my idol, Trucy. It's a character I'm supposed to be.
Objection!
Keep that up, Mr. Pham, and you're going to have a mental breakdown. Just let yourself be who you really are. Who I really am? The two sides of you are fighting each other and doing you psychic harm. I can hear them. Two distinct voices battling inside you. Shut your pie hole, you know nothing, know-it-all! I mean, you mustn't say things like that, or I might get flustered.
Mr. Pham, how long do you insist on maintaining this wolf in sheep's clothing act? You can't end this therapy session until you get real with us. Set the wild beast inside you free. Here we go.
Don't make me laugh. You don't know a dang thing about me. You want to see who I really am? Fine. Take a good look.
Huh? What? Oh! Bats! What in the world?
Sheep's clothing. You've got it all wrong. It's a rabbit suit I've got on. I'm not a wolf. I'm a blood-sucking vampire with a bat with fangs and wings.
Oh god.
I think we just opened Pandora's box. I'm finally done with that goody two-shoes cottontail act. I feel free as a bat.
What have I allowed to happen here?
Why is she crazy now?
Defense, your therapy session has taken a turn for the worse from the looks of it. There's a perfectly good explanation for this. Isn't there, Miss Sykes?
Me thinks I created a monster.
Levi. Hey, you, Lobster Boy.
Who, me?
You think I'm glad Trucy's in trouble? I think she's getting her just dessert. Well, guess what? You're right.
Does this mean you admit to wishing to defend and harm?
Well, the bat is out of the bag now. That mistake of mine was a work of art. Thanks to my goof, poor little Trucy had to do all the hard physical work, labor.
When you say hard physical labor, what are you referring to?
Because of Mr. Hat's new position, Trucy had to move both those huge stage lifts. They must have been so heavy. What a riot.
That's strange. Athena, could you please add that last statement to Bonnie's testimony?
Alright, I'll update the matrix with the new info.
Let's see it. There's still some noise, so something's still not right here.
Hey Apollo, now there's a new inconsistency in this testimony.
Yeah, she finally slipped up. So what do I need to do now?
Well, from this point onward, you just do what you do best. Find the contradiction in the testimony and present evidence to refute it.
Alright, I've got you now, Bonnie DeFum. You slipped up, huh? I guess Trucy is the one who killed Mr. Reyes. Even she can move the body. On stage at the time, but that terrible mistake. You know what? Serves her right. Thanks to that, she ended up having to move the stage lift. She had to move the stage lift. She had to move the stage lift? There's definitely a contradiction in her testimony. Present evidence like you always do, and since we finally found something, I'd say we call the therapy session a success. Call Batsy McBatty over there a success? Stage lifts? I'm sorry, wait, stage lifts?
Objection!
Mr. Pham.
Leave me alone.
Wait.
Objection!
No. I'm wrong. She ended up having to move the stage lifts. Serves her right. Wait,
Objection!
she never told anyone, didn't she? That doesn't make sense.
What? You think I'm crazy now?
Kinda. That's not here or there. That's not the point I was trying to make.
I don't hear you denying it.
Mr. Pham, allow me to repeat your statement. Thanks to that, she ended up having to move the stage lifts.
That's right, and I still say that's what she deserves.
How did you know? How did you know Miss Wright moved the stage lifts?
Huh?
According to her own statement, she didn't tell anyone that she'd done so.
What?
So how could you possibly have known that she had done, unless you saw her? You saw Miss Wright moving the lift in the understage passage, didn't you? Oh. So somehow you were watching? But you were... Huh. Well, there's the problem then. You were somehow both on stage the entire time, yet also... watching?
You did it, Apollo. Noise levels are at 0%.
But Mr. Justice, wouldn't that mean... Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Pham herself was under the stage where the victim was killed. And I hardly need to tell the court what that means. You are one artful liar, Mr. Pham, and one spectacular suspect. I'm just going to continue standing here until it's my turn.
Why, you shiny red lobster boy! You're saying I killed Mr. Ace.
I'm saying that's a possibility. What's more, I say you had a solid motive to frame my client for the murder as well.
Objection!
Alright, I can finally come back into the conversation. My apologies for raining on the defense's merry revelry. But you seem to have forgotten one very important point. Oh, really? The TV footage. As you can clearly see, Mr. Pham was on the stage the whole time. The entire audience can bear witness to that fact, including you. Oh, yeah. So, you have just taken a long and senseless journey only to return to the starting line. The witness could not have been in the understage passage, which means the only one left who could have killed the victim is the accused. Yes, the party's over. Oh, but Mr. Pham knew something she couldn't have known unless she was under the stage. How do you explain that, Prosecutor Sadamati? It's quite simple. The accused must have told Mr. Pham about it, but then forgot.
Open those useless eyes of yours, take a good look at that footage. If Mr. Pham really was in the understage passage, it would mean she was on stage and understage at the same time.
You mean she was in two places at once? Wait. That does seem to be the only explanation that makes any sense. Wait! I think I remember now what her deal is.
It may be an explanation, but I'm not so sure about the make sense part.
Then we'll just have to make it make sense. I remember. Your Honor, the witness was both on stage and understage at the same time. That is the defense's assertion. Are you okay? I've heard some illogical things come out of you before, but this is absurd. I'm sure you'll change your tune once you hear my reasoning, Your Honor. My gut tells me you're bluffing, but I'll bite. It's always a treat anyways. Very well, Mr. Justice. How do you explain how the witness was in two places at once? There are two Bonnies. There were two Bonnies, Your Honor. If that were the case, it would all make sense, wouldn't it? There were...
Two of them?
I suspected you had a few screws loose, but now I see you are missing the see some are missing altogether. Is there two clear in this courtroom, Your Honor? I suppose three screws to the head should right in his putrid brain. Very well. Bailiff, could you...
Hold it!
No, wait! Please listen to my argument. Very well. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to at least give it a listen. As was argued earlier, Mr. Pham was shown in the footage the whole time. But, at the same time, she was also watching Miss Wright in the understage passage. The only possible explanation is that there are two Bonnies. That almost sounds like it makes sense. What do you think, Prosecutor Sadamati? Do I really need to entertain this? This humble servant of the Holy Mother is of the opinion that all of you are insane, that we should lose no time in replacing the defense's many lost screws.
But, Apollo, it goes against reality itself to say that one person is actually two.
We don't have to be bound by reality. After all, we're talking about magic here. So, if the Bonnie to Pham in the footage is the real Bonnie, and the Bonnie here on the witness stand, the one who must have been under stage, this Bonnie to Pham is our second Bonnie. There we go.
She is?
Say we call the one in front of us Bonnie 2. I believe I have just the piece of evidence to prove that Miss Bonnie number 2 that a Miss Bonnie number 2 exists. Oh, then please submit your evidence, Mr. Justice. What proves the existence of a Bonnie number 2? Would it happen to be the recording?
Take that!
That's... Wait, what do you got? Wait.
Take that!
That's... Why do I feel like I've done so? Wait, what are you... Why do I feel like I've said... Wait, is it the second person? What's this? During our investigation, we found a set of unknown prints on the coffin on the stage. These prints were most likely left during the course of the show. But they didn't match the prints of any of the people involved in this case. An unknown third party's fingerprints. He was not told of this. Unless I kept it from him. So the question is, who could these prints possibly belong to? I see a little bit of a sweating over there, huh? Well, Mr. Thumb, or shall I say Bonnie number 2, these are your fingerprints, aren't they?
Chop to them!
Enough of this foolishness. One person cannot possibly be 2. Those fingerprints could have been left, not only during the show, but at any time.
Objection!
It's not like you to lose your cool like that, Prosecutor Sadmati. It's not. But I'm sure you know that exactly when the fingerprints were made is not the main issue. What do you mean by that, Mr. Justice? The issue is who do these unknown's prints belong to? They're certainly not Bonnie DeFlam's. But what if they belong to this person standing right in front of us? Oh, you mean Bonnie number 2 is the second Bonnie? Is that what you're implying? Preposterous suggests that those prints belong to the witness. I say they must belong to some other unknown individual. Prosecutor Sanmati, can you really look at her and still say that? Also, we can prove it. Just bring over here, get it. Emma, you probably still got your kit. Let's prove it right here now.
What are you looking at? Take a picture. It lasts longer.
How could this be? We check her prints. I'm sure they'll match the unknown Seth. Well, Bonnie, the prints that don't belong to the real you belong to you, don't they, Bonnie number 2? So where's the twin? Witness, what the defense just said true?
Fine, I admit it. Fingerprints are mine.
Then does that mean you aren't Bonnie DeFemme? What? Ridiculous! Are there really 2 Bonnies? Let's see it.
Nope, there's only one Bonnie. Because... I'm Betty. Betty DeFemme.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen of the court, it's time for a wondrous magic show. Cast in amazement at this lagomorphic illusionist performs her teleportation magic. Watch closely, it's showtime.
Here we go. The big reveal. There exists not 1, but 2. Over here now. Hi. Yep, I remember now. There are 2 of you. Twins. So one of you really does like Bonnie, I assume, and the other actually hates. How curious. What an amazing trick! When is this suddenly split into two people?
It's not a trick. No gimmick to it either. We're simply twins.
What? Twins? So that's how the teleportation trick works?
Ever since our debut, I've had to hide or pretend I'm Bonnie. All cute and sweet and goody-goody. Can't tell you how stressful it's been. But I don't have to hide anymore. That's right, our days of sneaking around are finally over.
Their cover is blown, but they actually seem pretty happy about it?
So, which one of you's the nice Bonnie DeFam we met in the dressing room? That would be me.
And the sharp-tongued Bonnie we saw with Rain's Raja on your stage was?
Who are you calling sharp-tongued?
It's all starting to make sense now. Betty DeFam and Bonnie. So, Mr. Justice, this changes the facts of the case rather dramatically, doesn't it? It certainly does. During the show, it was Bonnie who was on stage the whole time. So Bonnie couldn't have committed the crime. But Betty, on the other hand, who was understage, did have the opportunity. I don't think they're the killers. Well, so now we have two suspects.
Wait just a minute there, Lobster Boy. I didn't do it. That's right. Betty might have a foul mouth, but she never kill anybody. Hey, who's got a foul mouth here? Oh, well, speak up, huh?
Hold it!
Could you two stop fighting? Please save your sibling squabbling for later. What did I just say? Betty, you must have been in the understage passage during the show. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known about that stage list being moved. So what exactly were you doing down there?
Fine, I'll testify. Anything to get you off my back.
Prosecutor Salmati, Betty DeFam is ready to testify. What do you say? I don't know at this point. Betty, you lied to this humble servant of the Holy Mother.
Hey, what else could I do? I can blow our cover and ruin our magic act. Besides, am I gonna go to your Twilight Hell or whatever for being a liar?
You will indeed. However, it won't be after your death. Rather, it will be right now. I shall give you a taste of your punishment on this mortal coil. An interrogation hell. Oh, God! Now then, Betty DeFam, please explain to this court before you die. What exactly were you doing under the stage? Alright. What happened under stage?
It's true. I have business in the air stage passage because of the upcoming trick. It's the fire trick, right? The one Mr. Reyes was supposed to do. That's right. It's a very dangerous trick, so I had to make sure we were prepared for it. It was in the script, and I really wanted to see it, but I couldn't because of the accident. Shut up! You're gonna give it away! Anyway, I was really busy. Yeah, way too busy to have the chance to kill Mr. Reyes.
Well, that was certainly different.
How's that for a flawless testimony and alibi?
Oh dear.
Our magic is real. It's not a trick or gimmick.
Oh my, she's floating. Your Honor, do I need to point out the hands? Your Honor. Stinkbug, is this what you have to deal with every... Yes. Yes, it is. You can see she's being held up from below. You were supposed to pretend you didn't see that. It's a little something called etiquette. But... I can't help it. Whenever I see a contradiction or inconsistency, I just have to point it out. Now then, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Oh boy! What happened understage? We're getting serious now. I had business in the understage passage because of the upcoming trick.
Hold it!
If you were in the understage passage, which, need I remind you, was the crime scene, then you most certainly should be counted as a potential suspect.
But I don't have any motive to kill Mr. Reyes.
But you, by your own admission, hate Mrs. Wright. When she was arrested as a suspect, you said it was what she deserved.
Objection!
So you believe the witness killed a man simply due to her dislike of Trucy Wright?
Now, Yuta, I hate to say it to you, but I've heard more insane things in that statement.
As a motive, is that not improbable at best?
What if her hatred caused her to bear a strong sense of malice against my client?
Look, Druzy just made me mad, that's all. I mean, even though she's younger than me, she got so much skill and popularity.
Question. 17... Wait, are you... Okay, I had a feeling it's twin. She's only 2 years!
She's cute, besides. Ugh, she makes me so mad, I wish she would drop dead. Betty, don't talk like that. Shut your yap!
So was it just simple jealousy?
Hey, Betty, the next trick you were getting ready for.
Oh, wait a minute. It was the fire trick, right? The one Mr. Reyes was supposed to do. Thing is, that's weird, isn't it? Hold on. Very dangerous trick, so I had to make sure we were prepared for it. Where are you now? I'm calling complete and utter bull on that, because that bowl is still dusty.
Objection!
I hate to break this to you, Betty, but there's a big flaw in your testimony. As big as the one in that floating trick you did earlier.
Ooh, harsh words. Well, let me tell you something for it, boy. No one has ever figured out how we do our teleportation trick.
No one except me, you mean?
Well, we have even better tricks up our sleeves. Huh? We do? I told you to keep it dipped!
I don't know. Don't fight, you two. Mr. Justice, what's this about a flaw in the testimony? The script has this to say about the fire trick. This will be dangerous. Make sure the fire bucket is ready. However, we found the fire bucket lying empty backstage except for a layer of dust.
Ow.
You didn't even attempt to get ready for the next trick, did you, Betty?
You shot me!
Yeah. You weren't even planning on doing that trick at all. Why is that? Ready to farm. You will explain yourself.
There's nothing to explain. Come on, Betty. We can't hide any longer. We might as well tell them. Shut up! You can barely take care of yourself. Don't try telling me what to do.
Wait, are you guys being blackmailed? Well, if neither of you will explain, I guess I'll have to. The reason Betty didn't prepare for the fire trick is because she had to know the show wasn't going on. She was working in together with the ratings Raja, wasn't she? She knew this would happen. You didn't prepare for the fire trick because you knew, didn't you? You knew that the body would be found and that the show would then be canceled. There we go.
Don't be ridiculous, you insignificant speck of a man. I'm gonna yank those flame bangs of yours off. Is that what you want, huh?
Objection!
No. Whatever, they can grow back. Now stop stalling and just tell us the truth already.
I can't reveal my secrets. I'm a magician.
Objection!
You have been chasing the shadow of an illusory corporate defense. And having chanced upon a convenient target, you have let yourself get carried away.
What?
Exactly. Where's your proof, huh?
And yet, I can see that the witness's taste for false words has also been proven. I advise you to confine your deceitful trickery to your magic act, witness.
Deceitful trickery.
Objection!
Just answer the damn question. As your court-appointed therapist, I'd like to add something here, Betty. You finally let yourself be who you really are. But if you continue to hide behind lies, you'll just be imprisoning your heart all over again. But all these questions mean you're trying to put me in prison for real. So I'll be behind bars either way.
Does that mean you're admitting your guilt?
Of course not! I can't believe you people. Every one of you thinks I did something I didn't do. You lobster boy, jubal geezer, head case brat, Cerberus monkey, monk.
I thought we were going in the direction of all animals. Cue ball geezer?
Head case brat, really? Betty, calm down. Come on now, deep breaths, deep breaths. Look, I'm not the murderer, I tell you.
Then how did you know the show would be called off before the fire trick?
I told you, we can't reveal our secrets. We're under contract.
I knew it! You're being blackmailed too! Contract? What's she talking about? Be that as it may, you're obviously a suspect in this case.
Objection!
I'm beginning to see the karmic threads that make up the intricate tapestry that is this case.
Huh?
Allow me to summarize your assertions, defense. First, that the victim was killed in the understage passage. And second, that the witness and the accused are the only two who could have done it.
Exactly. What's more, Betty knew that the body would be found, and that the magic show would then be called off. Therefore, it's reasonable to conclude that Betty killed the victim understage.
But what if Betty knew that the show would be called off for some other reason?
Like what?
In the course of my investigation, I found it strange that the dragon set piece fell when it did. That, in conjunction with the body tumbling from the coffin in such a dramatic fashion, all seemed too perfect for mere happenstance. Come to me, my little friend. It was as though the entire chain of events had been planned out in advance.
Whee!
Ow.
Planned out. After deciding to take this case, I scrupulously studied everything I could about the mass media in this country. I read the newspaper, old news reports, I even browsed tabloid magazines.
How very industrious of you. I'm impressed.
During this process, I learned about a strange practice favored by the TV world. A practice called the hidden camera prank.
Ah, here we go.
Bessie and Bonnie, you knew about this, did you not? About the dead body appearing, the set piece falling, the show being suspended. You two were informed of this plan by Take-Two TV in advance, correct?
For once, you're actually helping me a little bit. Is that true?
Betty, please, let's just tell him now. I can't hold it anymore. Dang it, fine, got us. Everything the prosecutor said's true. TV station pays to cooperate with them on this plan. It was all a prank, a big step, a plan out in advance. Mr. A's showing up dead in the coffin. Set piece falling down. It was all completely scripted.
It was all a prank! Bonnie, is this really true?
Yes, Mr. A's was supposed to pretend to be dead. That's how it's supposed to go.
So he was in on it too.
That's right. He was supposed to show up dead in the coffin. And then the set piece would fall down. Trucy would be shocked and start to panic. That's how the prank script went.
What? What the heck kind of prank is that? Ha ha! Funny, funny! You're going to jail now! Your life is ruined now! Oh. Ha ha!
But we never thought he'd actually wind up dead. Yeah, that was the only thing that was different from the script. Poor Mr. Reyes.
I'm so completely lost right now. Well, Betty and Bonnie, it certainly sounds like you have some explaining to do.
All right. I guess desperate times call for desperate measures. Just this once, we'll share how it was done with you. So listen carefully. You'll never hear this kind of thing anywhere else.
A bat, a rabbit! Sleep!
After a teleportation trick, I went down under stage. When Miss Reyes' body appeared from the coffin on stage, it was time for Betty to do her job in the understage passage. That's right, I used the remote control for the winch to connect to the dragon set piece. And made it fall down. And just before the dragon fell, I called Trucy to the backstage so she wouldn't get hurt. The plan was for Mr. Wraith to come back to life in front of a panicked Trucy. He was supposed to laugh and fly up and away. That's how it was scripted anyway. But for some reason, he really did turn up dead, so we kind of stayed on the ground.
I hate you people. What kind of sick joke is that? It sounds like a terribly mean-spirited prank to me. The poor defendant was trying to do a magic show.
I guess so. I'm sorry, Trucy. Whatever. It was all Rain's Rod's idea anyway.
Yeah, it sounds like just the kind of thing a guy like him would come up with.
This is the prank plan script we got from the Rings Raja.
Ugh.
Dang it, you made us break our contract, and now we won't get paid.
But where does this all leave us? Who killed the victim, and when?
Yes, exactly. Those are the key questions. If Mr. Reyes was only pretending to be dead in the coffin as a part of the prank, then when he was on the stage, there would still be life within him. And if that is the case, then Betty, who is also on the stage, may be excluded from our list of suspects. Witness, was the victim alive up until he entered the coffin?
Oh, well, now that we've spilled the beans, we might as well show you this video.
Oh god, what? Uh-oh.
Greetings, viewers, it is I, the great Mr. Reyes. We are currently in the middle of a Trucy's escape egg trick. Having snuck through the understage passage
I knew it. You're not actually Mr. Reyes, are you? Before I couldn't be certain with this shot. Like, this could be like I could give the game the benefit of the doubt of just saying like, well, we're not gonna put it on his arm. Like, it's not complete. Like, it's more so on the side that's not visible. Like, I could give the benefit of the doubt. This is blatant. This is the exact same hand pose. If that scar was there, it would be obvious. You're not Mr. Reyes.
preparing to play a little prank on Trucy. I'm about to hide the coffin, which Trucy will stab it with her rubber sword. And when the coffin opens, I will be in it, acting as though I've met my maker. Can you imagine the look on Trucy's face then? I can hardly wait.
You all suck. He's about to hide in the coffin?
It would seem the threads of comic destiny have led us to the truth.
You're gonna say it's involuntary manslaughter now, aren't you?
Rat!
The victim passed through the understage where Betty DeFam was and came up onto the backstage area. We know this because Mr. Reyes appeared to be backstage when he shot the video.
It appears that way, yes.
In defense, you proposed the following, did you not? What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? But then, what about this video? This footage was taken just before Mr. Reyes entered the coffin.
Oh, so does that mean...
Yes, it is horrible but true. The tragedy did indeed play out right there on the stage. Went into the coffin when Mr. Reyes was hiding. Trucy Wright thrust her blade.
See? Told you so.
So are you saying the incident was a tragic accident that happened during a prank?
It would be an accident if the accused had no knowledge of the prank beforehand. So let us ask the accused herself. Miss Wright, did you have prior knowledge of the prank?
What?
tell him, Trucy. You didn't know anything about it, right?
Of course I didn't. I didn't know a single thing about it.
Objection!
Still think you can play innocent, do you? In that case, you leave me little choice but to present this piece of evidence.
Aha! Get the video camera after Mr. Reyes comes tumbling out. This is it! This is what I want! It looks like some sort of note. There it is!
That's...
I found this note in the dressing room after the incident. At the time, I did not understand what it meant, but all is clear to me now.
You are a blind man, and Saimari. What's this?
Let's see. It says, get the video camera after Mr. Reyes comes tumbling out.
It's a note signed by the accused, instructing Bonnie to collect Mr. Reyes' video camera from him, it seems.
This is bull!
I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. I found it in the dressing room before the show. When I saw it, I realized that Trucy knew about the prank.
It does bear her signature. I'll give you that much. I can disprove this in an instant. So the defendant has prior knowledge of the prank.
It would appear so, yes. When she learned about the plan to trick her, she decided to use it to her own advantage. So she thrust the steel sword into the coffin where the victim stood chuckling to himself. Is that not what happened, Miss Wright?
Of course not! And I didn't write or sign that note!
Ah, but the handwriting matches yours. All of the evidence and testimony points to you being the culprit.
But I didn't do it! It wasn't me!
Then explain the existence of this note. You can do that, can you not?
I can't explain it. I didn't write it, so I don't understand. I didn't kill Mr. Reyes. You have to believe me.
The silence is deafening.
Continue struggling against the threads of your own karma if you wish, accused. Even as you are inescapably caught in the web of fate you've spun for yourself. Miss Wright, it is time to resign yourself to your fate.
No, I didn't do it.
No, that sweet-looking girl a murderer. She took all of us in with that act of hers. I told you, she knew she was a homicidal witch from the start.
I didn't do it. I really didn't. Why doesn't anybody believe me?
Shut up, Tyler. We don't fall for that anymore.
This is bad. Your Honor, I suggest we put an end to this tragedy now. Give your official ruling, and let us offer the victim's soul the last right it deserves.
Very well. I suppose I have no other choice. This court hereby finds the defendant, Trucy Wright.
Objection!
It's not over yet. The defense has an objection.
Apollo!
You, even now, you would... I get it now, and it makes sense. I won't give up, and I refuse to let either of them down. Mr. Wright, who's counting on me, and Trucy, who's put all of her faith in me. Mr. Justice, the fact that you have raised an objection means that you have evidence with which to refute the prosecution's claims, correct? Yes, of course, Your Honor.
Do we really have anything, Apollo?
Actually, we do. There is one piece of evidence we can present here. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may proceed. Finally, as we saw in the show footage, there's no question the defendant thrust a sword into the coffin. The defense doesn't dispute this point. But let us not forget that this was a magic show filled with tricks and illusions. We can't take everything we see at face value. So you're saying some sleight of hand was somehow involved? Yes, the defense contends that the sword the defendant used was not the cause of death. What was it that Trucy told me she did just before she thrust the sword into the coffin? Very well. Let's see your evidence then, Mr. Justice. But remember, you interrupted my verdict to make this claim. I will make this painful for you. That's fine, Your Honor. This shows that it's possible that the sword Miss Wright used was not the cause of death.
Take that!
What's this? A sword from the show? That's right, Your Honor. This rubber sword was in the sword stand under stage. During the trick, Miss Wright was supposed to swap the real sword for a rubber sword, and she told us on record that she remembers very clearly that she did. I see. So the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin was a rubber sword, was it? But then why was a steel sword found lying on the stage? Somebody must have put the steel sword there by swapping it with the rubber one. Just after the incident occurred, the dragon set piece fell and the theater was evacuated. The real culprit must have used the resulting chaos to swap the rubber sword for the steel one.
Objection!
This is getting tiring. Do you not know when to give up, Stinkbug? That is not possible! Blood was found in the coffin hole that the sword was thrust into. It must have been left there when an accused withdrew the sword. This is incontrovertible proof that the sword she used was the steel one.
Objection!
But that blood could be the result of someone tampering with the crime scene after the fact. After the set piece fell and the audience was cleared out of the theater, one man! There was plenty of time for somebody to plant that blood there.
Objection!
If the sword the accused used was a rubber one, then when exactly do you propose the victim was killed? Given that Mr. Reyes was alive when he entered that coffin.
Objection!
Finding the answer to that question is precisely why we need to continue this trial. Let me express my opinion. By all accounts, it is certainly reasonable to suspect the defendant based on the evidence. But, as to the question of whether this sword the defendant used was rubber or steel, I believe further discussion is warranted. I suggest we hear from the defendant herself on this issue. Very well, Your Honor. Yes, I saved it, somehow. Too close for comfort, but still. There's adjourned for a brief 15-minute recess. I advise the prosecution and the defense to use this time to prepare. April 28th. Can we get that stupid Raging Raja guy in here? Oh, that was hairy. Tell me about it. We barely made it through it by the skin of my teeth.
I can't see him crazy about that prosecutor Samadi either. You know, with the way he says let it go and move on, as if it's nothing.
Let it go and move on, huh? Oh no. Oh boy, am I interrupting a secret conclave of villains or something? Hey, asshole. Got your next evil scheme in the works already. What do you want? Keep making that face, champ, and everybody's gonna change the channel. Let's just wait, Trucy. Now smile for the camera. Let's see those pearly whites. Isn't that what the Grammary Creed tells you to do? How does it feel, Trucy? Everybody online can't stop talking about you. They're calling you a real witch out there. Could this be the end of the Shroop Grammary?
Go away, you creep!
Oh, what's this? Something just charged into frame. Looks like a yellow gorilla or something. Could it be Trucy's pet?
Filming is prohibited in the courthouse. Do you want me to go get a bailiff?
Huh? Filming? What are you talking about? I don't even have a camera on me.
Huh?
Oh, wait, what?
What happened to the camera?
It just disappeared, right before our very eyes. I'll be enjoying the rest of the Trucy show from the gallery. I put out a call for Trucy's fans to come and support her earlier, by the way. I bet I'll get some great footage out of them. This could be good. Hang loose, baby. I can't wait to drag you out on the stage and make you beg for innocence. He called in some of Trucy's fans, but for what purpose?
Hollow, that thing Mr. Retenz just did. That was some high-level sleight of hand.
He's a magician himself, isn't he? Huh? Why would he know how to do something like that?
I don't know, but he definitely has some serious magic skills.
No way, but I thought you said magicians were all a bunch of good-for-nothings. Mr. Lawyer? Oh, Bonnie! Oh, hello, Bonnie. Can I help you with something?
Well, there's something that's been bothering me.
Really? What is it?
Well, you see... Hey, dummy! What are you whispering to Lobster Boy about? Hey, who the heck do you think you are? Are you crazy? You want a piece of it? You know you have to talk to me first before you do or say anything, hairbrain. Shut your mouth, you dumb bunny! Come with me, now!
Damn it. I wonder what was bothering her.
There's no way we're finding that out with Betty constantly hovering over like that.
What was about to reconvene? Will you be alright testifying?
Yes, it's just... I wonder what Mr. Retenz has up his sleeve. I doubt he's bringing in actual fans.
Yeah, probably not. Wondering what he has up his sleeve, too. You better not be trying to get under Trucy's skin right now, of all times. You're Trucy Wright, and you'll be fine.
Oh! There goes Apollo with his best trick.
That's right. Whenever I'm feeling down, I always tell myself I'm fine.
Alright, I'll give it a try. I'm Trucy Wright, and I'm fine! Thanks, Polly. I think I can do this now.
Atta girl. Good luck up there on the stand. You'll do great.
Thanks, I'll be fine. I can do this.
Alright, Justice. You can do this too. Time to focus on the rest of the trial. Ugh, I just hate this slime ball. Ugh. Ugh. Just thinking about it makes it feel like I've got something stuck in my throat and it's just slime. He's just too much slime. Court is now back in session with the insanity. Defendant, please step up to the witness stand.
Trucy Wright, magician.
Here comes the liar and the deceitful witch! Last member of that criminal troupe. We all see you on stage.
Order! The gallery will be quiet, or I will have you all thrown out on the spot. What's with all the hecklers?
I bet they're the fans Mr. Retenz invited.
What a grade A jerk. Well, he's not gonna psych us out. Well then, Miss Wright. This court would like to know if you switched it from the steel sword to the rubber one on stage. So please testify about this issue.
She's just gonna try and trick us again with her magic. We're Victor, go to the death penalty.
Come on, Trucy, you got this. Silence, all of you! I won't hear you again. Miss Wright, do you feel able to testify?
Yes, I'm fine, Your Honor.
Trucy, I knew I shouldn't have let her go through with this.
I'd like to make a small request. How about, instead of testifying with words, I show you exactly what happened. Would that be alright, Your Honor? You can witness my stupendous sword-switching magic and judge for yourselves.
Really? In spite of everything, she's still smiling.
Her Trucy's amazing, isn't she?
Sure is. She's doing just fine up there. A true entertainer always keeps a smile on their face. She's faithfully following the true grammar creed even now. She really is something else.
It's showtime for magical girl Trucy Wright. Watch carefully now, everybody.
Okay. The stupendous sword switch.
Ladies and gentlemen, please focus your attention on this sword. Allow me to demonstrate just how sharp this blade truly is.
Yep, I can cut an apple.
See that? No tricks or gimmicks. A very sharp sword indeed. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, watch as I take this sword and... Presto Swordo! There, I've switched it. And now... Up! As you can see, the blade is not steel, but rubber.
Huh. I'll be.
Bravo, Miss Wright!
Oh, she switched him in a flash. I can see her do it at all.
She's completely turned the room around.
Hecklers are being drowned out by all the cheering.
Where did the steel sword vanish off to, Miss Wright? In order to deeper understanding of the case, please tell us if you would. I'm not asking out of mere curiosity, just so you know.
I usually hide the steel sword backstage when I switch them during the show.
So when you thrust the rubber sword into the coffin, the steel sword wasn't even on stage but behind the curtain.
Exactly. So you see, there is a trick and a gimmick to it after all. And as for where the steel sword went when I performed the trick just now, it's a secret. Wouldn't want to spoil the magic for you now, would I? That's our Trucy.
Yeah, still. Miss Wright, that part where you spun around, that's an actual part of the sword switching trick you do for the show, right?
Right. The art parts, like the apple, were just to help with my explanation here in the court.
That's funny. I think I found an inconsistency in her testimony. It looks like I'm not the only one. I don't know what it's doing there. Now that I've found it, I've got to get to the bottom of it. Yeah, I noticed it too. As soon as you mentioned it. Try not to ask dumb questions. I thought this was supposed to be my cross-examination. Yeah, there's one very obvious part here that the game's now even pointed out. A spin, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, please focus your attention. Allow me to demonstrate. And then, ladies and gentlemen, watch as I take this and... Yeah, Trucy.
Objection!
You didn't spin. Miss Wright, there's something I'd like to confirm with you.
What is it, Apollo?
There seems to be a discrepancy between the way you performed the trick for us just now and the way it appears in the show footage.
What? But that can't be. I performed exactly the same both times.
And what's going on here? Wait, where did we get that tape? That's right. I have the show footage. Wait. And the part where you twirl your cape around is missing from it.
What? But I did it.
So, it really is the exact moment you switch the swords.
Yes, that's right.
I knew it.
Well, I certainly never expected the defense to expose the accused lie for me.
Mr. Justice, does this mean that you are arguing that the defendant did not swap the swords during the actual magic show? No, Your Honor, that wasn't my intention. I mean...
I did swap them. I know I did it. I'm absolutely sure of it.
Human memory is unreliable at best, but in this case, I'm afraid that it is the witness herself who cannot be trusted. We can see the footage for ourselves. The claims of this witness are false.
But...
Now that it has been proven that the accused did not swap the swords, it means that the use of the steel sword to pierce the coffin was wholly intentional. And by the way, was it not you, Mr. Justice, who argued that Mr. Reyes' death was not an accident but murder? I assume you have no objections to that still. It was, after all, your own assertion.
The defense,
Objection!
Defense has an objection. To you, Mr. Apollo Justice. I didn't mean you withdraw the discrepancy you're pointing out now. There is a discrepancy and it must mean something. I'm sure of it.
Will the defense team kindly save their spam until after court is adjourned? Now, after all this debate, it seems we come back around to the original argument. The defendant knew about the prank plan that would place the victim inside the coffin. What's more, the defendant did not perform the sword-switching trick on stage.
Through her actions, I'm afraid I have come to see the true intentions of the accused. Her murderous intentions.
It's such a shame.
But I did switch the swords. I swear.
You're knee-deep in it now, Justice. Bonnie?
Excuse me.
Let's see, you are... which one again? Benny? No, that's not right. Body?
It's Bonnie. You were mixing the two names together, Your Honor.
Oh, pardon me. And do you have something you wish to say, Bonnie?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to testify.
About what?
The more I think about it, the less possible it seems. I don't believe Trucy killed Mr. Reyes.
Bonnie?
Hey, what's the big idea? Such an incredibly gifted, intelligent magician would never commit murder. I refuse to believe it. What are you talking about, you harebrained hare? You keep your trap shut. I got a bag of baby carrots for you, so chew on those and pipe down. No, I won't be quiet. What's the matter with you? Didn't you hear me? Trucy said something to me once. Huh? She said, no matter how scared you get, no matter how mean people are to you, you can't give in or give up. That's what being a professional magician's all about. Isn't that right, Trucy? That's right, Bonnie. I've always been afraid to stand up to Betty, afraid of the fire, so I did what she did. When I saw Trucy today, she gave me strength. I'd like to make a small request. How about instead of testifying with words, I show you exactly what happened? Would that be alright, Your Honor? You can witness my stupendous sword-switching magic and judge for yourself. Seeing her courage, the way she kept smiling despite everything, she's just incredible. So I'm not going to run away. I'm scared, but for once, I'm going to be brave. What have you done to my sister, Trucy Wright? You practically brainwashed her. It's the power of Trucy conviction. That's what it is. It's touched Bonnie's heart.
Yeah. Trucy really is one magical girl. Bonnie, is the top of your testimony related to that thing that was bothering you? The thing that you tried to tell us about in the lobby during the recess?
Yes, ever since I saw the show footage, something's been nagging at me. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but something is off. I feel like something about it is different from what I saw on the stage.
What do you mean by that, Bonnie? It's not the right date.
I wonder if what was shown on TV is really the same as what happened on stage.
Objection!
Of course it is. The show has only been performed once, after all. It can't show anything other than what happened on that stage yesterday.
Objection!
But Bonnie's testimony deserves our attention. We have to examine the show footage. But what can we check it against? Do you have some other footage of the show?
Well, I have some show footage.
You do?
One of the TV station's cameramen said he was a fan of mine. He kept his camera on me throughout the entire show. And then afterwards, he gave me the footage he shot as a present.
He did?
Tell you the truth, I thought it was kind of creepy, so I was going to get rid of it.
Hold it!
Don't get... Please submit that footage to the court. Now then, let's take a look at this new footage. If this shows a spin, then we're in business. Or if it shows... Wait, this is a completely different angle, though. Okay. Bro! Cameraman! Whoa, cards. Dunk! Wow, okay then. He really did keep his camera on Bonnie the whole time, didn't he?
I think this cameraman needs to keep his personal feelings out of his work.
Well, defense, do you still believe this new footage show is worth inspecting? Of course I do.
Okay, so how are we gonna go about this?
Let's try comparing the two. You just might find an inconsistency between them.
An inconsistency, huh?
Yeah, the two pieces of footage are the same scene, so they should match up. Bonnie felt there was something off about the original footage. I think I noticed it too. So if we can pick out what's different between the two...
We'll know what Bonnie found strange.
Exactly. Plus, we may figure out why the original doesn't show the sword-switching trick. Your Honor, the defense would like to compare these two pieces of show footage. Very well, I will allow it.
What a waste of time.
Oh, do you know how to compare the two pieces of footage?
No, I've never done it before.
I'll give you a little lesson then. Use the video player's buttons to go through the footage. We're gonna speed through, use the fast forward button. Do this to that, and this and that. Hold playback, hit that button. Oh, and by the way, if you fast forward or rewind when the playback's paused, you can do a slow frame-by-frame playback.
Okay, so how do I switch between the two vids? Find a difference between the two pieces of footage. Put the cursor over what's different and present it. I think I know exactly what it is. I want to get right to it. Anyway, let's give it a try. I think that it's gotta be those cards, isn't it? I can't save. This is bad. I want to first... Was there at any point here cards that appeared? It's when she, like, jumps back. Wait. I'm actually having trouble with this one, honestly. I can just hold it down. It's gotta be something during this, like, explosion thing. I'm going with my gut.
Take that!
Why are there cards? Take a good look at this scene and compare it to the video shot from the front. Oh, the playing cards don't appear in the video shot from the front.
Hey, you're right. What's going on here?
Miss Wright, what can you tell us about these playing cards?
Oh, those? They're the cards I throw when I do my sword switching trick.
What? Mr. Justice, does this mean... This is fabricated! Yes, it means that the sword-switching trick was cut from the TV show footage. So the footage was edited. Indeed. Yes, with malicious intent. That is absurd. Well, we must get to the bottom of this right away. Bailiff, the TV station might still have the unedited footage. Go see what you can find out. Yes, Your Honor! What? Uh-oh. Don't tell me it's him! Ugh. Ugh. I hate you. It's
it's you.
Now, hold up, Your Honor. This is all just a big misunderstanding. Believe you me. Give a guy a chance to defend himself before you start pointing fingers. And who might you be? Right. Sorry about that. Got ahead of myself there. Ugh. Here's my business card. Charmed to make your acquaintance, Your Honor.
Oh, well, how very polite of you.
It's lovely to meet you, too, Prosecutor Sodomite. Please take my card.
A business card? Ah, yes. I read about this custom among businessmen in this country. I have even familiarized myself with the various replies. No thank you. How do you do, good sir? Or what's crack the lackin', homie?
Oh, you're from Take-Two TV, are you, Witness? Come to think of it, I believe I've seen you on television before.
Yes, Roger Thames, otherwise known as the Ratings Raja. He is a TV producer and appears on many of his own shows as of late. He's best known for his catchphrase, "Hang loose, baby."
Oh my, so you're the Ratings Raja.
Hang loose, Chachi, baby. Nice courtroom you got here.
I never thought I'd get to meet you in person. Prosecutor Sodomati, how do you know so much about him?
In preparation for the case, I watched all of his shows. I found the Ratings Raja Goes to Burger Barn of particular interest. It inspired me to visit that restaurant straight away to learn more about the local cuisine.
What? You went to Burger Barn? Who would have thought? I mean, I guess I can't judge, can't say that Sodomati isn't willing to, like, try different stuff.
You must have really wanted to try it, huh, buddy? Because that line, whew.
Compared to my aesthetic training, an hour's wait is nothing. I recommend the Southwestern Burger with the jalapeno jack cheese, by the way. I'm having a really hard time picturing him in the front line for burgers.
Prosecutor Sodomati's unexpected enthusiasm for food aside, Mr. Ritens, what is this misunderstanding you mentioned?
Well, for starters, it's true that the footage was edited. You'll get your hands on this anyway. So I might as well hand you the unedited footage. It's a pretty long video, so I'll just show you the part with the playing cards. You can see the cards when Trucy spins around, so keep your eyes peeled.
I don't like this. I don't like having evidence from him. This shit's probably forged as well. Well, it does prove that she did the spin.
You see the part where that was cut from where Trucy switched the swords? She spins around and the playing cards go flying. Everything's like it's supposed to be.
Then it seems the defendant really did swap the swords during the trick. Which means the sword Miss Wright thrust into the coffin was the rubber one. In other words, Miss Wright couldn't have killed Mr. Reyes.
Yeah, see, that's the first misunderstanding right there.
What do you mean?
Well, Trucy definitely did swap swords, as you saw. So yeah, maybe she didn't kill Mr. Reyes when she stabbed the coffin. But that just means she was killed after he showed up pretending to be a corpse.
So you're saying that up until that point, everything was going according to the script. If that's true, then when and then how exactly do you think he was killed?
It was after the dragon set piece came crashing down. I say Trucy murdered Mr. Reyes when she was hidden from view behind the set piece. She could have easily done it behind that huge dragon and nobody be the wiser.
I see. Indeed, there's a ring of truth to your assertion.
You bet. Plus, there's a suspicious looking shadow in the footage too. It's towards the end of the footage, just before the dragon hits the stage. It might be easy to just see it for yourself.
I'm finally glad, as much as I hate having it be you say it, I'm glad somebody says it. There is a strange shadow. The dragon, just before... There!
It's only for a split second, so it's hard to catch, but look here.
Yeah, that's the question.
This suspicious shadow must be Trucy. Boy, what do you mean? She's using the steel sword she hid behind the curtain during the trick to kill the victim.
What do you mean that's Trucy? Well, that you mention it, I suppose it does look that way.
Objection!
What do you mean it looks that way?
This witness is just trying to ram his theory down our throats, Your Honor. And that's not all. Aren't we forgetting... that the witness willfully edited the sword switch out of the footage?
You see, there's your second misunderstanding right there. Your Honor, would you mind if I testified about it? I've seen people testify on TV and I've always wanted to give it a shot.
That would be fine with me, Prosecutor Salamati.
This is quite unexpected. It threatens to disrupt the comic course of this case.
Hey, line up, pretty boy. You're gonna like what I've got to say, promise.
Very well. However, if you do anything to impede the last rites of the victim, I will have you removed.
Oh, we're not having him removed, Salamati. I finally got you right where I want you.
All right, with Prosecutor Salamati's permission, please give us your testimony, Mr. Returns. Roger returns the reins, Roger. Now, Kaiser of the courtroom. I'm taking over the floor, so listen up, loyal viewers.
Ugh. It wasn't deliberate, I tell you.
Footage is meant to be edited, I tell you. Scenes are spliced together and long or boring scenes are cut out. All the stations edit footage this way. It wasn't like it was done maliciously or something. It was just a coincidence that particular scene was cut out. It wasn't intentional. Or what? You got some proof that I had an ulterior motive for editing that footage? I see.
So you're saying it was coincidence that the sword-swapping scene was cut?
That's right. Glad you got the picture.
Objection!
Boy? Coincidence? This is a little too convenient if you ask me.
Ooh, an objection. How cool. Sure packs a lot more punch when you hear live. Do that again. I want to get another shot from a different angle.
My objection is not for your entertainment.
Yeah, cut. There. I got some good stuff there.
Mr. Returns, filming is prohibited inside the courthouse.
Oops. My bad, Judge.
And if the defense has an issue, it can point it out during its cross-examination. Oh, finally! Got you right where I want you, buddy. I feel like now we're starting to get closer to the heart of the issue, of the trial. If we're actually going up against him, we've got to be getting close. Because I'm starting to slowly remember how this case goes. And I, at the very least, can confirm, from my memories of what I remember, you are most definitely the villain. Footage is meant to be edited, I tell you. Really? I've never heard anybody say that.
It's common knowledge in the TV world. Ugh, a plebeian such as yourself wouldn't understand that. You got any idea what a snooze cruise would be to watch a magic show without editing? A magic show like that one, anyway.
That was ice cold.
Anyway, editing's what makes TV worth watching. Scenes are spliced together and longer, boring scenes are cut out.
Hold it!
Are you saying that you thought... Are you saying you thought there were boring scenes in Miss Wright's magic show?
You gotta ask. That script and presentation deserve a place on the cutting room floor. Broadcasting that mess as is would have been a complete disaster. That's why I had to edit the footage. That's just what a TV man does.
What didn't you like about the show exactly?
The whole thing! It was a major snooze fest. Maybe common folk like you don't get it. The show is only as good as how loud, flashy, and trashy it is.
It was plenty loud and flashy on its own. All you did was add the trash.
I suppose each industry has its own way of doing things. Just as we in the legal profession focus exclusively on evidence and testimony.
Exactly! Whether it's showbiz or the legal biz, we gotta do what we gotta do to get the job done. Anyway, editing footage is just a matter of course in the TV industry. All stations edit the footage this way.
Hold it!
It wasn't done maliciously, huh? But I get the distinct impression that you bear feelings of ill will toward Troop Gramry.
Huh? What makes you think that?
The things that you yourself have said.
You'll see. I'll dig up the dirt and expose the dark heart behind that sweet smile. I'll prove those Gramry magicians are all a bunch of lowlives.
And I also get the impression that you felt this way for a long time.
Objection!
Words such as those can be interpreted in many different ways. For example, though I bear the defense no ill will, I would not hesitate to say that he is a good-for-nothing lout of a lawyer.
You bear me no ill will. Could have fooled me.
And yet, it is the truth. I am only strict on you as it seems you have strayed from the path. Me when I lie?
If you have any objections, Mr. Justice, please make your case with evidence in the future. Mr. Tense, please continue your testimony.
Me when I lie? It's just a coincidence that particular scene was cut.
Hold it!
Of all the scenes you could have cut, why the sword switching trick? That seems a little, like, too much of a coincidence to me.
Oh, so now you're gonna tell me how I'm supposed to edit my programs, Big Shot? So being the boss, kid, you gotta make the tough choices like which content gets cut.
Then let me ask you this. Why exactly did you make such a tough choice in this case?
You wouldn't understand, champ. It's all about artistic vision.
Try me.
I tell you, people tell you how to do your job and they don't know the first thing about it.
I may not know TV, but I know evidence law. And boy, do I have some for you, champ. I might not be able to show that your selective editing was intentional. However, I know you bear the defendant ill will, and this is the evidence that proves it. Can't I just show you the...
Take that!
That thing? You'll never be able to... Wait, what are you doing?
All the money in the world can't save you from my time travel.
Take that!
Huh? What's that you got there?
This is the contract you had Miss Wright sign just before the magic show. This contract between the first party, Take-Two TV, and the second party, Miss Wright, reads, if through the fault of the second party, the show must be canceled in part or in full, the second party will pay $3 million as compensation to the first party.
$3 million? That's a completely unreasonable sum.
I couldn't agree more. And of course, Miss Wright doesn't have that kind of money. Nevertheless, Roger Tens had her sign this unreasonable contract anyway. Or more accurately, he conned her into signing it.
Conned her? How did he do that?
And we've got just the evidence to prove it now, too. There's a trick to the clipboard that was used by Miss Wright to sign her contract. Plop this bad boy open, it has this carbon paper that can secretly copy her signature onto other documents.
Oh, come on now. That's quite a nasty accusation to sling my way. Besides, you don't have any proof I had anything to do with that carbon paper stuff. Just because Trucy and an agency can't pay up, that doesn't mean I conned it.
But $3 million? That's totally out of reach for the average person. In any case, this is important new information. Please add it to your testimony, Mr. Rettens.
Finally!
Where's your proof linking me that tricked out a clipboard?
There are like... Oh!
Objection!
Died! You must be quite the con man if you can fool a magician with a simple trick. But if you think you can con a lawyer, you're very much mistaken.
That kid, would a kid didn't enunciate in front of the camera?
You know, like a newscaster. I'd like you to take a look at Miss Wright's signature here on this note. Now let's compare that signature to the one here on this contract. Wouldn't you know it?
Well, where would you look at that? They're exactly the same.
How about that? That's right, Your Honor. Not just similar, but exactly the same. Nobody can sign their name in exactly the same way twice, unless it's a copy. These signatures are proof positive that you conned Miss Wright. And they definitively prove your malicious intent.
Say, not bad, lawyer guy. I didn't know you had it in you. This is really getting interesting now. I'll get great ratings for sure.
Laugh it all up now. Don't try and dodge the issue, Mr. Intense. The fact is that you bear ill will against my client. So the show footage was definitely edited with malicious intent. Isn't that right?
What's a forced argument, defense? All you have really proven is that it's not his ill will towards Miss Wright, but his pecuniary greed.
That's right. I just want money, baby. That stacks of cheddar, that's all. After all, I never even crossed paths with Trucy before this match show. So I'd have absolutely no reason to bear any ill will, right?
I think I get it now. I remember who you are.
didn't bear her any ill will, huh? Fat chance. This guy definitely has some major hate for Trucy. I get it now.
You'll see. I'll take up the dirt and expose the dark heart behind that sweet smile. I'll prove those Grammy magicians are all a bunch of lowlives.
I get it now. I remember. I can't prove it with anything, but the things he said all point to that fact. There must be something between the two of them that gave birth to this grudge. Some sort of connection that not even Trucy is aware of. Your Honor, I'd like to argue that Roger Attends and Trucy Wright must have crossed paths before. There must be some hidden connection between them.
Hidden?
Connection? What is it now?
Just what are you getting at, Mr. Justice?
It is futile to even ask, Your Honor. Surely it is just another one of the defense's feckless claims.
Objection!
Try me. You don't seem to have a very high opinion of me, but once you hear my arguments, you'll wish you'd taken me a whole lot more seriously. Will I really? Very well then. Do proceed. Did you figure something out, Apollo? Nope, nothing. What? That was just some good old-fashioned bluffing, courtesy of Mr. Rat's fine training. I hope you know what you're doing.
If you're going to make such a bold claim, Mr. Justice, I hope you're ready to elaborate. What is this hidden connection between the defendant and Roger Attends?
Pretends is a magician!
That sleight of hand trick Ratens did during the recess earlier.
Filling is prohibited inside the courthouse. Do you want me to get the bailiff?
Huh? Hillman, what are you talking about? I don't even have a camera on me.
Quite the skill. What if Mr. Attends is a magician too?
What if? I believe it's up to the defense to fill in the blanks, not me.
Well, if he is, he may have had some contact with Miss Wright somewhere along the way.
Objection!
Your argument is hardly worth responding to. But, by all means, please do continue. As a passage in the sacred scriptures of Kuainism states, he who gives a sermon into a monkey is himself a monkey.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say to a dimwit. He isn't gonna get it anyway.
We saw Mr. Attends perform a magic trick. He made his video camera disappear in the blink of an eye.
Well, I think it would be pretty funny if I were a magician. You must have been seeing things. Want me to introduce you to a good eye doctor?
If the connection as tenuous as that is all it takes, then every magician in the country could potentially bear ill will toward the accused.
But he bears a special one.
I guess you're right.
You're not the sharpest knife in the drawer, are you, short stuff?
You would do well to cleanse that putrid mind of yours in the holy waters of Mount Pony Pony. 3 days under a frigid waterfall, and even you should rise to the level of a monkey.
Numbskull for a numbskull.
Ugh. Well, this numbskull has a thick skin, so there.
I think I get what they're driving at. Even if he is a magician, it's not exactly a reason to bear a grudge against Trucy, is it?
Hold on. I can think of one person. One magician who has a reason to bear a grudge against Trucy. And now... Or rather, one magician who has a reason to bear a grudge against the troupe.
Oh?
It's time. And you can't even... No way!
There's something wrong, Mr. Justice.
And this is easily verifiable. We can easily verify who his identity is, but all we have to do is ask him to roll up his sleeves.
I know who you are! Your Honor, the defense wishes to submit evidence at this time.
I see. What sort of evidence do you have for us?
Evidence that points to the real killer, the one who had a motive to commit this crime.
What?
And what have you come up with this time, defense? Trucy Wright is the sole heir to Troop Gramarye in its name. This puts her square in the crosshairs of one particular magician. And his piece of evidence points to that one person with a grudge against Miss Wright.
I think we're finally getting to the heart of it. The real culprit.
Take that!
And who exactly are you naming, Mr. Justice?
13 years ago, the great Mr. Reyes belonged to Troop Gramarye. But then, the troop ousted him, and Mr. Reyes vowed to get revenge on them someday. And what better way to accomplish that than through the ruination of their sole heir?
But Mr. Reyes is the victim, Mr. Justice. You've named a dead man as your suspect.
But is he really dead?
What do you mean, is he really dead?
If the fact that Mr. Reyes is the victim is what's throwing you off,
then how about we consider this possibility? That man... What if the man who died on that stage yesterday wasn't Mr. Reus? That's just somebody else who's acting like him.
What? You mean the victim was an imposter?
You can't hide for long, Returns. No, Mr. Reus. What about the real Mr. Reus? It would mean the real Mr. Reus is still alive. That's absurd. Finally. Mr. Justice, who is the real Mr. Reus if not the victim of this case? It's all coming together now. I finally see the gimmick, the trick to this entire case. Well, time to pull back the curtains. This should explain everything, Your Honor. The real killer, the one who hated True Gramarye and wanted to sully its name. The magician lurking in the shadows who set up a fake Mr. Reus in his stead. The real Mr. Reus is... Roger Returns! But that's... Yes, it is. Roger Returns is the real Mr. Reus. What?
Him!
And we can easily confirm this. What are you doing? Hey? Oh, hollow red pepper. Your impotent seeds brought naught but meaningless, empty words. You can't possibly have proof to support such an outlandish theory.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea for a soap opera. But not even die-out fans of the genre stuck around past the pilot.
Really? What if I had some proof? You want proof? Well, I've got proof. I can prove it by... proving that the Mr. Reus in yesterday's Max show was a fake. And to do that, all we gotta do is look at certain something. I just need you to look at this spot on this poster. Look at this man's arm.
Take that!
Isn't it funny?
How it's got 2 X's. This is the injury Mr. Reus sustained while practicing a magic trick 13 years ago. However, isn't it interesting how he's missing it? The video the victim shot of himself shows no trace of that injury. Oh my, you're absolutely right. Now, Mr. Returns, what do you suppose we'd find if we took a look at your right forearm? Is there by chance a nasty 13-year-old scar under that sleeve of yours? Well, Mr. Returns, why don't you roll up your sleeve and let the court have a look? Or are you hiding something else up there?
Come on now. I have nothing up my sleeve. I don't need to hide anything up there, because I require no tricks or gimmicks. For you see, my magic is the real deal. Bingo! Is this what you were hoping to see?
Oh, there it is! The scar!
The great Mr. Reus, just as I thought.
That's right. I am the forgotten magician, abandoned to the dark understage of history. The great Mr. Reus. Yep.
It's totally absurd!
Finally revealing yourself, huh?
How ironic, wouldn't you say? That this odious mark carved into me by True Gramarye would bring me back into the limelight once more.
Brains are the comic threads before me. The witness is the real Mr. Reus, then who's the victim who perished in the magic show?
He was but a fan. I met him on one of my programs several years ago. He said he had become a magician out of admiration for the great Mr. Reus. In confidence, I told him my true identity and let him take on my mantle. And when did this man take over for you? About 2 years ago. I taught him my tricks and even acted as his producer. And so a mere amateur became a popular magician overnight. Courtesy of my magic on the stage we call television. Hope you enjoyed the show. You really had us fooled. Mr. Tens, or should I say Mr. Reus? In your hatred of true grammar, you killed the victim, Mr. Mystery. And then set up Mr. Wright to take the fall, didn't you? You did it all just to tarnish the Grammary name. I have no idea what you're talking about, lad. I set up the prank, that much is true, but it was simply a harmless joke on Trucy, I assure you. Yet she learned of the plan and made use of it to commit murder. That is how strongly the criminal element runs in the blood of these Grammarys.
Objection!
And if it was a secret prank plan that very few people knew about, couldn't you have been the one to use it for murder instead? Whoa, your head's gone!
His head!
I'm back. Just kidding. What the heck was that? Heed my words, loyal lad, for I fear your grasp on reality is slipping. I do believe I told you that my magic is real. It employs neither tricks nor gimmicks. Enough with the ambiguity. Why don't you make your point already? My alibi is as pristine as ever. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Salamati? Yes. Yes, I suppose that is correct. The witness does have a solid alibi. Recall, defense, that at the time of the magic show, Mr. Attends was at Take-Two TV. A fact that many people can easily attest to. That's right. I know all about that. So what do you think, Your Honor? Would you like me to testify on the matter? Yes, I think you'd better. Please, tell the court more about your alibi. We've got to be close to the end now. Very well, then. On with the show. Are you watching, Magnifique Grammary? The time has finally come for my magic to snuff out your precious prodigy. The Grammary line will be no more. Let's end this. My perfect alibi. I was at the TV station at the time of the Penrose performance. I was busy working on another TV program. I could spare no time for the magic show. You ask my staff if you doubt my claim. And there it is, a simple and perfect alibi. No tricks, no gimmicks, just the truth. Do you understand now, perhaps? I did not grace the theater with my presence until after the incident. So how could I have committed the murder? The staff did say he was there at the station. So it sure does sound like a rock-solid alibi.
That can't be right. If Mr. Attends is the killer, he'd have to have been at the theater.
There's gotta be a hole somewhere in his story. I assure you there are no holes on Mr. Reus' stage. No tricks, no gimmicks. True magic doesn't need trapdoors to escape through. Do enjoy my show to the fullest. And my real alibi. I wouldn't be surprised if this says it's the final cross-examination. Because this definitely feels like it. If we can just prove he had a chance to do it, then it's over, I think, for him. Because he has such a powerful motive. Is it the final? Yes! Oh, I can't wait to see this. I was at the TV station at the time of the Penrose performance. I pressed the wrong button.
Hold it!
But you did come to the theater eventually, isn't that right? Indeed. Anxious to see how the show was progressing, I made my way to the theater. Let's see. My journey took about 10 minutes, by car. Could he actually have been at the theater during those 10 minutes, killing the victim? Allow me to stab at reading your mind. Huh. Could I have been at the theater during those 10 minutes, killing the victim? How in the... But no, I took a taxi. The driver can attest to that. Feel free to call the taxi company if my word does not satisfy you. The driver's a big fan of ratings, Roger. I even gave him my card. He gave the driver's card? That was very clever of him. You might as well give it up, lad. Questioning real magic is a fool's errand. Besides, you know very well what I was doing at the time of the incident. I was busy working on another TV program.
Hold it!
What was this other TV show you were working on?
My own special project, you see. One moment. Perhaps this is more appropriate.
Here's a Ratings Roger special production. Yeah, hang loose, baby. It's called Desperation and Regeneration.
You switch personas just to say that?
What's the show about?
Washed up, has-been singers and comedians get together and play musical chairs. The winner of the game is given a second chance at their career. The prize is prize for chumps who washed up too early in life. Sounds great, right?
Might I suggest you appear on that show, Mr. Justice? As the ex-lawyer who used to make ridiculous bluffs in court and faded sadly into obscurity.
Let the Ratings Roger produce my TV debut? Not in this lifetime.
You have great reactions. Who knows? TV might be your true calling.
Hey, whose side are you on?
In any case, I was overseeing production of this program during the Penrose performance. Do ask my staff if you doubt my claim.
Hold it!
How do we know those staff members are in cahoots with you?
I make it my business to perform solo. My magic has neither need or want of assistance. After all, one of them could reveal the secrets behind my magic, could they not?
So he doesn't trust anybody, huh?
He's the complete opposite of Trucy. There were many people there in the studio audience who saw the witness as well. Even if he had been able to persuade his own staff to cover for him, he could not have convinced so many complete strangers to do the same.
He really has made a rock-solid alibi for himself.
Yeah, it's almost
too good, you know?
It's eerie how perfect it is.
Has all been revealed to you now?
How do you make such a perfect alibi?
No tricks, no gimmicks. Just the truth. Just the truth. Just the truth. Just the truth. Magic.
Hold it!
I've got it. Do you have a brother? A brother looks exactly like you, mate.
Again with the twin business? You think the audience will let you get away with using the same gimmick twice in a row?
If you do not believe him, Defense, why not investigate for yourself? Though I am sure your efforts will prove to be thoroughly fruitless.
Yeah, I guess the twin series is a little far-fetched.
Damn it. Oh, his alibi really is airtight.
I believe we've heard enough. While I believe the witness does indeed harbor some ill will against the defendant, there's no reason to doubt that he was at the TV station at the time of the incident.
Yes, the facts prove it was impossible for the witness to have been involved with this crime.
Oh, I can't let him get away.
These last rites of the victims have dragged on long enough. I won't. The soul of the victim himself is so bold that it is resting on top of your honest head.
Huh? It is? I'm only used to seeing talk up there.
The time has come. Let us punish the sinner and guide the victim's soul to the Twilight Realm.
Oh, Trucy will be thrown in prison, and we'll be out of job. If you catch that tasty fishies, will you sell me some at a good price?
I told you I have absolutely zero intention of going off on a tuna boat!
Injustice, you have to figure this out.
It's no use! I can't find a single flaw, so what now?
Behold my never-ending magic show. Come for the awe-inspiring showmanship of the great Mr. Reyes, and stay for my grand illusion until the end of time.
Wait, is he saying that we're still trapped inside some sort of illusion of his?
That's what professional magicians do. They make their audience see something that isn't really there.
In other words, you make us see illusions, right?
We call it misdirection. While we keep you busy believing one thing, we're busy making something else happen. What we say is there really isn't, and what we say there isn't there actually is.
It's not over. Could it be?
You know what, Mr. Retenz? I guess we have all been spectators to the elaborate illusion you've prepared for us. An illusion that subtly turned our attention towards something you want us to see.
What are you going on about, lad?
Have you got something, Apollo?
I just remembered something Trucy said about misdirection. What a magician says is there really isn't, and what they say isn't there really actually is. If we've all been taken for a ride by Mr. Reten's magic,
then maybe he's made us see something that wasn't really there. Something invisible. It's time to rethink all my assumptions about this case. What have we been made to believe was there when it actually wasn't? What have we taken to be the absolute facts of this case?
Time to peel back the curtains on this trick.
If I reevaluate the validity of all these things, then just maybe.
Athena, there's something uncanny about this case.
Okay, what is it? Pretend's alibi. It's too perfect. It's true. It's like it's impossible to break, no matter how hard we try. But maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's exactly what he wants us to think. I'm not following. We're not making any headway here because we've been so focused on breaking his alibi. Oh, I think I get it. You're saying he's using misdirection on us, right?
It's definitely a possibility. Would the defense care to share with everyone what it's discussing over there?
Your Honor, we believe that if we were to reconsider a certain assumption, we may finally arrive at the truth. In fact, I think we'll even finally see who's hiding behind the curtain, so to speak.
And what is this certain assumption you're thinking of?
This is the one key assumption we've been taking for granted this whole time. The crime scene? Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. The culprit was unseen. What if the culprit was somewhere other than the theater at the time of the crime? What if there was some way to commit the murder without actually being there? If that were the case, then Mr. Ratten's perfect alibi would become irrelevant.
Objection!
How could one person stab another to death with a sword without physically being there? Furthermore, we all saw what appears to be the culprit's shadow in the footage.
Objection!
Really? But couldn't we just as easily assume that the shadow does not belong to the culprit?
Well, if it's not the culprits, then whose is it?
I'm not 100% certain yet. I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track. We've all seen something that looks like this shadowy shape before, Your Honor. During the magic show itself. Yeah, we have.
In that case, please point it out in the show footage for us.
This is the thing that looks suspiciously similar to the shadowy figure of the culprit. It's Mr. Hat, isn't it?
Take that! Take that!
Huh. Mr. Hat. Mr. Hat's shadow. Doesn't the shadow resemble the suspicious shadowy figure?
Now you mention it, it does, doesn't it?
Miss Wright, could you identify the shadow for the court?
Let's see. I believe that's Mr. Hat's shadow. It's from when he's being pulled up from the stage to the catwalk overhead by wire.
Then could this shadow that's shown later in the footage be Mr. Hat too?
No, that's not possible. After Mr. Hat was pulled up to the catwalk, he stayed up there.
I get it. I see. In other words, this second shadow is from some other figure being pulled up. Yeah.
Some other figure? I'm afraid you'll need to be more specific than that, Mr. Justice.
He's right. We've come this far. I'll just have to figure it out from the clues I have on hand.
What is this second shadow shown in the footage?
It's not a thing, per se, Your Honor. But a someone.
Take that!
If we consider what was happening on the stage at the time, there's only one answer. The shadow belonged to the fake Mr. Reyes.
In other words, Mr. Man of Mystery.
The victim?
Please take a look at this prank plan script. Mr. Mystery was to pretend to be dead and then fly up into the air after that. Isn't that right, Mr. Retent?
Indeed.
And what of it? I contend that's exactly what happened. The victim was wearing a stunt harness around his waist. It was most likely attached to a stunt wire so that he could easily be pulled up into the air.
So you're suggesting that after pretending to be dead in the coffin, the victim flew up into the air just as the prank script says?
Exactly. We just couldn't see him go flying up because the dragon was blocking our view. That last trick, ladies and gentlemen, is the true piece de resistance of the culprit's murderous magic show. Don't tell me. You've got it all figured out? Yes, I think so. If we can just look beyond Mr. Retten's last bit of misdirection, we should finally be able to see the real truth. The victim must have been pulled up to the catwalk, just like Mr. Hat. It hit the cushioning up there with considerable force. Just have to figure out what else happened up there at that time.
Are you ready to elaborate, Mr. Justice?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm ready.
In that case, please answer for me this.
Why did the culprit make the victim fly up into the air like that? Was it to murder him? Just why did the culprit have to fly up after he appeared in the coffin? And how did the victim actually die? When he was only pretending to be dead in the coffin? If we can figure out how these two questions relate, the answer should become clear. Could it be? Mr. Mystery, he must have thought he was still just part of a prank when he appeared on stage. He probably didn't suspect a thing as he was being pulled into the air. After Miss Wright was called backstage and just as the set piece fell. But then something happened. The culprit had already planted the real murder weapon in a cushion in the catwalk. It was probably a knife or blade of some sort. What? You mean... Yes, it really was a magical murder. Just as the prank script said, Mr. Mystery was whisked up into the air. And straight into a blade there in the catwalk. Ugh! In other words, this murder was committed remotely through the use of a magic trick. What? Remotely? Using this method, it wouldn't matter where Mr. Retenz was at the time of death. Almost there.
But how exactly does it work, Mr. Justice?
Just before the murder occurred, the dragon set piece was up in the catwalk. And it and Mr. Man of Mystery were connected to each other by a wire at the time. By carrying out the prank plan, Betty made the dragon set piece fall, which caused Mr. Mystery to rocket straight up and into the blade in the cushion. The cushion was high up enough to be hidden from the audience's view. That's why nobody saw the blade. Oh, and that big gash in Mr. Hat's cape. Blade must have been set up overhead sometime before the magic show. Mr. Hat must have been slashed by it too when he was pulled up by the cushion.
I can't believe it. I had no idea. I was told that Trucy would freak out if I made the set piece fall. That's the only reason I did it.
You were used, Betty. Roger Retenz used you.
I thought he was my little puppet to boss around, but was the other way around?
After the incident occurred, Mr. Retenz arrived at the theater. He got the murder weapon and swapped the rubber sword with the bloodied steel one. That's also when he lowered the victim's body down to the stage.
But how did he have time to do all that?
When the set piece fell, the audience was evacuated from this building. He was able to do all those things after the fact because there was no one else around to see it. A horrific murder camouflaged by a spectacular magic show? It sounds just like the kind of murder only a magician could pull off. As long as the show proceeded as it was scripted, Mr. Mystery was doomed to die. That's why it was you, Mr. Returns, who killed the victim, all the way from the TV station. This prank plan, or should I say, murder plan, proves your murderous intent. Huh? What now? Enough. You dim-witted, ignorant, imbecilic, putrid red pepper. You can't possibly have counter-argument to make. Talk about not knowing when to let it go and move on. Do you have a rebuttal or something, Prosecutor Sodomati? No blade of any kind was found in the catwalk, which means you have no evidence to support your theory. But Mr. Retenz retrieved it after the fact. Which still leaves you with no way to prove your wildly fantastic remote murder theory. Without proof, does it not make more sense to believe that the murder was committed there on the stage? That's where the blood-stained sword was found, after all. There's a very good point. That's the only person who could have committed the crime there on that stage. Lucy Wright remains the prime suspect. It would appear that what you call truth is little more than a cheap parlor trick. In the end, you have done nothing to prove the accused's innocence. It is time to, at last, to let it go and move on. I'm not letting you get away.
Are you seeing this magnifique Gramry? My magic is exacting punishment on your granddaughter. The Gramry name is done for.
Oh, we need to hit them with a decisive piece of evidence here. I know, that's just what I was thinking.
Mr. Justice, do you or don't you have anything to prove that the witness committed this remote murder you proposed?
Of course I do, Your Honor. This entire incident was carried out exactly according to the script. Right, so theoretically, there should be no evidence for us to find or use. Which means our best bet is to see if something unscripted happened. There's gotta be something Retenz couldn't have foreseen. And once I find it, that's how I'll expose his murderous trick. Get ready, Mr. Retenz, because I'm about to reveal the secret to your magic. There are no tricks or gimmicks here, just good old-fashioned logic. Let's think through the whole thing one more time. So, to begin. As long as this magic show went as scripted, the murder would happen without fail. Everything in this case was carefully planned so that no evidence would be left behind. Still, one thing happened that definitely wasn't in the plan. What happened? What part of the magic show wasn't part of the show's original script? Bonnie's mistake, right? Bonnie's mistake was never intended to happen, so Bonnie made a mistake. Bonnie made a mistake during Trucy's escape trick. What mistake did Bonnie make during the magic trick? It was Mr. Hat's positioning. Mr. Hat was placed in the wrong spot. Or was it because Bonnie placed Mr. Hat to the right of the coffin instead of the left, Trucy had to reappear on the side of the coffin opposite to the one in the show's script. The culprit didn't know that when he first arrived at the theater, which means he was bound to make a slip-up when he tampered with the crime scene. That's right! There's something there! Which part of the culprit's cover-up? The fingerprints! Wait, what? No, that's not right. Even Trucy's position changed. But I thought it was the fingerprints. In that case... Oh, wait, the blood in the coffin hole. But then... Wasn't the... But if that was... Yeah. Wait, it's gonna stay here, isn't it? Thinking Trucy appeared on the left, the culprit must have put the blood in the left hole, but the blood was eventually discovered in the right hole during the police investigation. If the killer had originally put the blood on the left side, that means he must have tampered with the scene again afterwards to make it line up with the facts. To make the crime scene consistent with facts, the culprit must have... swapped the coffin sides! And that's why the hands were backwards! The culprit swapped the coffin sides! It's over. That's right. Left and right panels of the coffin are interchangeable. The culprit must have switched two panels to make the bloodstain fit the facts. But the switch might have also given rise to something unnatural. I remember now! There was something unnatural about the coffin. It's just the evidence I need! Let's do this. It's over.
Sorry, Mr. Attends, but I have some very conclusive proof of your guilt. Another bluff, is it? There's no way you have anything of the kind. My magic is real, no...
Objection!
No. There are tricks and gimmicks to it, just like any other illusion.
Let's end this.
After the murder...
You switched the left and right panels of the coffin, didn't you?
Because you did, you left behind something very unnatural for us to find.
This proves that Roger intends tampered with the crime scene after the murder took place. Finally. The handprints.
Take that!
The fingerprinting results.
What about the fingerprints is unnatural?
Let's take a look at the prints the victim left inside the coffin, shall we? If the victim was facing forward in the coffin, his prints should have looked like this. However, what we found was... they were facing the opposite direction. It's quite unnatural for the prints to be facing this way, wouldn't you agree?
It is strange, isn't it? But how'd they get this way?
They got this way because the culprit thought the magic show had gone according to script. The culprit thought Mr. Hat would be on the left side of the coffin. And that Miss Wright would also pop up on the left side of the coffin as per the show's script. He then assumed she had thrust the sword into the hole on the left side of the coffin. That's why he put blood in the left hole when he was trying to cover up his crime. But sometime after leaving the bloodstain, the culprit must have realized his mistake. He found out that, due to Bonnie's mistake, Mr. Hat was on the right side of the coffin. And that despite the script, Miss Wright had thrust a sword into the hole on the right. In short, the hole with the blood in it was on the side opposite to the one Trucy used. To make the blood's location fit the facts, he had to tamper with the evidence yet again. So he tried to cover his tracks by switching the coffin's left and right panels.
Oh, and that's how the fingerprints in the coffin ended up backwards. Because the culprit switched the two side panels around. The prints ended up facing the opposite direction. A permanent inconsistency. Instead of going through all that trouble with the panels, why didn't the culprit just wipe the blood away and redo it on the other side? It was too late. I'm afraid that wouldn't have worked, Your Honor. Because of a little something called luminal testing. Ah, right. Luminal. I almost forgot. Luminal can detect trace amounts of blood even if it's been wiped away, right? That's right. Wiping the blood away would have only served as proof of his meddling. How about it, Mr. Attend? Did a pretty good job figuring out your trick, didn't I?
Objection!
What now? Trucy Wright could have done the same just as easily. You have no proof that it was this witness who tampered with the evidence.
Objection!
Ah, but I do have proof. The person who was in the magic show would never have made the mistake of putting the blood on the wrong side. Least of all Miss Wright, who surely would have remembered she was on the other side.
Oh my, you're absolutely right.
Why, you impudent! I'm sure you've realized it by now, Prosecutor Sotomati. Your claim that Miss Wright is the culprit just doesn't hold up. You and the accused are almost certainly bound for hell.
Objection!
Really? Really? Miss Wright and I? Because I think you're the one with the ticket there for trying to convict an innocent girl.
There we go. Ha! Prosecutor Sotomati, are you alright?
Let's not forget, as for the true culprit, he is someone who knew how the show was supposed to go but didn't actually see it. And someone who had the chance to tamper with the crime scene after the incident. And the only person who fits the bill is you, Roger Tens.
Gramarye!
All the secrets to your tricks have been revealed. And with no tricks left, I'm afraid your show's been cancelled.
Permanently! Let me see it. All of my secrets have been revealed, you say. Don't make me laugh, boy. Mine is the true, real magic. There are no secrets to reveal. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, the true power of the great Mr. Reus. What it witness a magic far greater than true gramarys. Burn. Crumble. Fall to my furious flames. The great Mr. Reus will bring an end to you all. And now, for the final heir to the Grammarly name, right here, right now, you two shall burn. Huh? No, this isn't right. You can't hide. No, I didn't do anything wrong. No, it's not my fault. I'm not the one to blame. I'm the victim here. Stop! No! Curse you, Grammarly! Finally. Curse those Grammarys. It's all because of them. Even now they wound me. Curse them all to the abyss.
Do you really hate us that much? Oh, is that... Yep.
Do you really hate us that much? Does your hatred run that deep? Deep enough to kill an innocent man?
You're damn right. You have no idea what humiliations I had to suffer. Your grandfather, Magnifique Grammarly, kicked me out after I got hurt practicing my magic. He said I was too unskilled, that I would mess up on stage. He threw me out of the troupe just because he was worried about his own reputation. Since I was but a child, it was always my dream to become a great magician. And Magnifique, he took it all from me.
But that's no excuse. That's no reason to do something so evil. Magic is supposed to make people happy, not used as a means for murder.
What's the big deal? I just used what I had available to me, that's all.
I get it now. That attitude toward magic is why my grandfather kicked you out. You don't deserve to call yourself a magician.
Don't deserve.
Don't deserve? I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. After all, you were completely taken in by my magic, were you not? If not for that Loy over there, you would be on your way to prison as we speak.
You're right. I didn't see through your tricks.
You see? So in the end, Troop Grammar is defeated by the great Mr. Reus. You're not fit to lecture me from on high, Trucy, Wright? You don't even deserve to call yourself a magician, you naive greenhorn. Take that, Grammarly. You lose.
If anyone needs to learn to let go and move on, it's this guy.
This court and my prison can both burn in the flames of my creation.
Bailiff, take Mr. Reten's away. And bring a fire extinguisher just to be safe. Well, finally. It looks like we've reached the end. I feel as though I've been watching a grand magic show. It was close, but we just barely made it through somehow. Huh? Why does Lucy look so down? Miss Wright.
Yes, Your Honor?
I'm about to announce my verdict. Could I see that wonderful smile of yours? That smile of a true entertainer as I do?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, this court finds the defendant Trucy Wright not guilty. I'm glad that the judge was able to at least help her smile one more time. You got anything to say for yourself? Also, is your face okay? I feel like I should be seeing bumps and bruises all over. Court's adjourned. You alright, Truce? And I swear to God, if Saamadi comes in here and, like, berates you further, I will strangle him.
Thank you for everything, Polly. Oh, Trucy, grazie Dio. Now you can open your show tomorrow, just as planned. Yep, and it's all thanks to you too. Oh, but now that Mr. Reyes is gone, I'll need to find somebody to replace him.
No, 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 no. I don't like the way she's looking at me.
Trucy, I'm so sorry about everything. Hey, what are you apologizing for? Roderick Ten's used us. We're victims too. He even made me an accomplice to murder. But, Betty, we have to take some of the blame for this too, you know? Even if we didn't know he was planning to kill Mr. Mystery, we did cooperate with him. It's all my fault, isn't it? Neither one of you is to blame. The only one in the wrong is the person who used magic to commit murder. Roger Tens. Don't you think I know that? Say what you want, but don't think for a second that I don't still hate you. I guess she really does hate me. But Betty, why? You used to be a huge fan of Trucy's.
Really?
Hey, shut up! I've always hated her. Really? But if we hadn't seen Trucy's magic show, we never would have tried to become professional magicians ourselves, right? Speak for yourself! But Betty, you still have her autograph from that day. Just shut up!
But was she acting that way this whole time because she secretly loves Trucy? Well, Trucy, I never knew that being the best could be so tough.
Come on, Bonnie, we're leaving. We have to get ready for tomorrow's show. You're really excited about performing with Trucy again, aren't you? That's not true, so zip it, dummy. Polly, do you think I really am a naive greenhorn?
Huh? No way. She's not. You kidding me? After all, you were completely taken in by my magic, were you not? If not for that lawyer over there, you would be on your way to prison as we speak.
You're right. I didn't see through it, your tricks.
You see? So in the end, Troop Gramry was defeated by the great Mr. Reus. You're not fit to lecture me from on high, Trucy Wright. You don't even deserve to call yourself a magician, you naive greenhorn. Trucy, don't tell me you're taking what Pretend said to heart.
Well, maybe a little. I didn't see through his tricks, and I let myself be taken in by his magic. I can't trust myself anymore. Maybe he was right to call me a greenhorn.
You shouldn't take stock in his words. He doesn't even know the first thing about you.
Huh?
You're a wonderful Gramry magician. You should be proud of yourself.
Thank you, Paulo. But what makes you say that?
I know you're a wonderful Gramry magician because of this. I actually don't exactly know what it wants me to present.
Take that!
My grandfather's notebook?
Gramry Creed. A true entertainer always keeps a smile on their face. When you performed your magic trick in court today, you showed the whole world your dedication to your troop's creed. Even through all the jeering, you kept a smile on your face and won the crowd over. You're everything Magnifi could have hoped for in an heir. You're a great magician, Trucy.
Great magician? Me?
You really are. That's why you don't have to worry about what Reten said.
Polly, thank you. Still, I couldn't have done it without you. I would have lost my nerve if I'd been up alone up there. But I was able to keep on smiling because of you.
Me?
I remember what you said to me in the detention center.
After all, you're sure you swapped the swords, right?
Yes, I remember doing it.
Then I just know it wasn't your fault, Trucy.
But how can you say that? We don't have any proof that it wasn't me. I mean, I know you're a great lawyer, Polly, but...
I believe in you, Trucy. And I believe in your skill as a professional magician. So I'm going to prove your innocence. Don't worry, you're going to be fine.
Your words were what kept me going. Apollo, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now I can be everything I was meant to be.
Trucy's real smile is the best. I'm so glad I could help make that happen.
Emma? I'm really sorry, Trucy, for everything. But why? Well, I wasn't able to convince Prosecutor Sadmati what a good person you are. And I had to testify against you, too. You have nothing to apologize for. You were just doing your job. You're too kind. Oh, I don't know about... Huh? Is something wrong, Emma? Oh,
Prosecutor Sadmati, what are you doing here? Detective Sky?
yes?
I require your forensic expertise in order to close this case. Come, let us go. Wait! Prosecutor Sadmati! The trial is over, Mr. Justice. You and I are strangers once more, with no further need to interact. Strangers? Have you really forgotten all about me?
What?
You've really changed, Nayuta. Tell me to let it go and stuff. What happened to you? Oh, lawyer of impure soul. I have nothing to say to the likes of you. Are you serious, Nayuta? Now, if you will excuse me. There he goes.
What's that all about, Paulo? How do you know Prosecutor Sadmati?
Let's just say we're old acquaintances.
Acquaintances? Seem like something more than that.
Yeah, well,
You don't like to talk about your past, do you? Because you always change the subject.
I guess I'll have to talk about it someday. But for now, come on, let's forget about the past and celebrate Trucy's future.
Sure, if you say so. Hey, it's Mr. Wright.
Hey, it's Mr. Wright.
Put him on speakerphone, Apollo.
What's up, Mr. Wright? Apollo! How's Trucy? What happened in the trial? Did you get a not guilty verdict? Mr. Wright, slow down. Everything's fine.
Hi, Dad. I'm okay now. She's found not guilty in a very dramatic turnabout. Plus, we saved the office. It was a great victory for Apollo.
Oh, that's low off my mind. Can't thank you enough, Apollo. Now I know I can trust you to hold down the fort any time. Me? Really? Yes, you. You're a real full-fledged lawyer now in my eyes. A full-fledged lawyer? I still can't wrap my mind around it. Thank goodness you were there to take care of everything. And thank you, Apollo. No need to go that far, boss. Especially not in front of everyone. Oh, and by the way, I won't be able to make it to tomorrow's show, so I was hoping you could go. You'll do that for me, won't you? Of course! I wouldn't miss it for the world. Full-fledged.
So Dad asked you to come to tomorrow's show, huh? That's my assistant, right?
No, he just asked me to go cheer you on.
Okay, then I'll be sure to save you the best seat in the house, Polly.
The best seat in the house? I really appreciate the thought, but...
Good, then so...
I have a bad feeling about this. I have a bad feeling about this. April 29th, Penrose Theater. Stage.
Objection!
I should have known.
Help! 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 That this is what she meant!
Magical girl Trucy Wright will not perform her greatest illusion yet. There are no tricks or gimmicks here, ladies and gentlemen. This is real magic.
Wait a minute! You're kidding, right? There is a trick or gimmick, right? I'm too young to die!
Now then, Mr. Hat, you know what to do with that sword.
No, wait! Stop! No!
And that's how Trucy and Grammy land and ended on a rousing high note. With a big round of applause and Polly's ear-splitting screams.
What kind of an ending is that?
And I really like that case, honestly. That was an awesome case. But I think we're probably going to go ahead and end it here for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all later. Peace.